And hello everybody, this is Colin Biedencat from TFDi Design. Here with me I've got the rest of our team. I'll let them introduce themselves.
I'm Brandon Filer, the graphic artist and UI programmer at TFDi Design.
And I'm Josh Mendoza, the community manager at TFDi Design.
And today, we now look forward to showing you what we've been working on for the last about just over 3 years now. Today, now I want to address a couple of elephants in the room before we go any further. Today's flight is going to be VFR, and I do have my landing gear switch up. Let's fix that. But today's flight is going to be VFR, and the reason for that is, although we do have some navigational equipment, we do have the FMS mostly coded now. It is installed, as we've said on our blog and other things modularly before. It is not actually present in the aircraft at the moment, though the systems are being coded separately. So, that being said, we're going to do this flight VFR between Papa Hotel Lima, India, and Papa Hotel Oscar Golf today over in Hawaii. We're going to take some time at the end of the stream, likely, and as it's ever fit throughout the stream, to answer any questions that come up that we've had via social media or here in the chat or anything like that. And that's pretty much it. We've got some things we want to address and some things we'd like to show everybody, and some of the methodology we've used in this plane to introduce everybody, and pretty much let you guys see what we haven't been showing you while we were preparing it for this, essentially, because this is now our pre-beta build, not beta. Like I said, this is an in-development product, as you can tell by the disclaimer in the bottom. Things are still going to be subject to change. At this time, we're also getting ready to connect up to VATSIM here. We'll be doing that throughout the flight, kind of showing it more in a realistic environment. And Brandon, that'll be your cue to also get ready for that.
I'm working on that.
The weather today, we're going to be flying through clear skies. And also, we're going to be, just in case you're wondering, Lahui to Kahului International Airport.
And to answer one of the questions in chat, Brandon, why don't you go ahead and move the visor out of the way for me?
Oh yeah, sure.
If that answers your question, gentlemen. I guess the biggest thing that we'll start with right now is this plane we built around the idea of a true connected flight deck. Not just the idea of, oh, let's connect and hopefully somebody will hit the right switch and maybe it won't desync today. And no, none of that. There's no way you have to sit here and hit all the same switches before you connect and start from cold and dark and all of that stuff that has been standard in connected flight deck. Two planes, completely different state, you can connect, and instantly, you're in the same state, you are ready to fly, you are flying the same plane. Either side can hit any switch, either side is in total control with the exception of the primary flight controls for, latency purposes, but outside of that, it truly is a multi-crew aircraft. Can be flown without it, of course, but why would you want to do that when you can fly with a crew? So we'll go ahead and get this out of the way, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get it started up. Now, we're going to get a chance to talk about some of the quirky things in this plane today. This plane does have its interesting little features, if you want to call them, and some of them have already been reported to us as bugs. So, the first thing that we're going to talk about is the fact that the displays seem like they're broken for about the first 2 minutes. We'll be showing that here. The vias on this plane have to boot up from cold, and it's a very slow process. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this here. And don't mind the in-off sticker here for this. This is actually very simple to code, but we got the assets we needed for it too close to the stream. We wanted to make sure everything was nice and solid, so it's been stickered out for now. I'll have to let maintenance know about that.
Break.
Verifying I've still got flight control authority. I don't know if you guys saw it in the chat, but about 3 minutes before the stream, my joystick decided it was done working today. So I have now plugged in my old dusty Cytec yoke, and I'm making sure that that doesn't have any problems during the flight. But I may have to hold it to my desk while I'm trying to fly, so I may not be the most accurate flyer as it is. Flyer, I know it's weird. May not be the most accurate pilot as it is, and now with a half-attached yoke, it's going to make it a very interesting flight, so that's that. It's just, I guess somebody left the flaps handle down too. Look at that.
The last crew.
Alright, there we go. Our left three displays are finally up. We'll go and get APU started here. Now, there are some cockpit switch sounds, as you can hear. Not all of them are there just yet. We have about 70% of them, but we're working on holding it down. We'll go into that later on. I'll explain that in more detail. But something I do want to show everybody here. We'll just go and let APU start up here and listen in. Waiting for the inlet door to open. Got our APU starting up here. This is actually not the engine, this is the APU, guys. Alright, so now, with that taken care of, we'll go ahead and get everything on here. There we go. That looks a little more useful. The APU sound actually, all the engine sounds today, and the APU sound included, have been provided to us courtesy of TSS. And working with him has been absolutely awesome. The sound qualities he's provided us have been great, and it's been awesome collaborating with him. So, I just want to give him a little shout out for that. Similarly, as we talked about with the FMS, the IRS is partly simulated, as you can tell by the fact that we don't have attitude and heading information, and our air data stuff is a little scaled back. Yeah, no, also our seat positions are a little high. There's actually a view selector in this plane here that when you look down this helps you figure out where you're sitting. Ours has got to be changed a little bit, but it's there. So we'll go ahead and quick align the IRS. As these get in here. So it's a little abbreviated for now. Again, obviously we will be simulating the IRS and the alignment through the MCDU as it would be done in the real plane. We already have the code to simulate the ADIRUs. They're just shortened for the time being while the FMS position is pre-entered. And acknowledge our master caution here. So I want to turn it over to Brandon for a little while here to see if there's anything you'd want to say so far. I'm gonna ramble on and on unless somebody cuts me off. So.
Well, I don't know if anyone caught on when you were outside earlier, but we do indeed have a new livery that we have not shown off yet.
Oh, that grammar.
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, we around the time that we started our rebranding of TFDi design a couple months back, we decided to look into what an official TFDi house livery would look like, and ended up coming up with what you see now.
We do have the experimental markings on the side for the flights, because we are not done yet. Alrighty, so let's actually go ahead and establish contact here and get a mic check with center. Our buddies over in Hawaii here helping us out with that. Now, I'll have to ask the viewers, would you guys want us to keep any air traffic control coming through the stream so you can hear it too, or would you rather us mute that so it won't be distracting? Because I'm kind of half in the middle on that. So you have to let me know which would work better for you guys. Somebody actually asked about the flight controls. Indeed, the real plane's flight controls are actually aerodynamically positioned. So I can move the yoke all day long, and we can't do anything. The only exception to that rule is the stabilizer, which if we pressurize the hydraulics, we can push it down, but it can't come back up again. Now that it's down, that's where it's going to stay for the time being until we get enough airspeed to pull it back up. That's so if you stall, the stick pusher can help you recover. Alright, we'll go ahead and make contact with ATC like I had said, and then we'll go from there. Feel free to ask questions or make comments about the flight. I'll be perfectly honest with everybody, this is actually the first time we've shown this plane off in any kind of a live situation, so this is our first aircraft, so this is uncharted territory for us as much as it is for everybody watching. So share your input with us if you'd like to see us do things like to ask questions. Now's the time. With the exception of release date and beta date, there's not a whole lot we're not going to answer at this point because we're now lifting the lid off of our internal development.
And also, if you're interested, there's a couple of frequently asked questions we posted below the stream. Like, will it have an FMC? How in-depth it'll be? stuff like that. There's a couple in there. Feel free to look at those. We've already answered a couple of them.
Oh, and I'm sorry guys, I have to switch my push to talk key thanks to my joystick deciding it was done. Honolulu Center, TFDi 1, mic check.
I have to switch my push to talk key thanks to my joystick deciding it was done.
He may read us, but I don't read him. Oh boy. Vera City asks, will it be considered a study level aircraft? I would say so. Absolutely. There has been some talk about it, and we've been a bit ambiguous with the way we've explained how we'll be simulating abnormal conditions. We're not doing failures in the sense that your left generator relay can fail. That's not something that'll happen in ours. But if you were to turn off the left relay in flight and lose power to your left AC system, let's say, the equipment that would fail without the left AC system will no longer work. You'll see those indications on the displays. You'll see those systems fail. So that's...
TFDi 1, good afternoon, Honolulu Center, my apologies, sir, readability 5x5 loud and clear.
Okay, now he's a little louder than I was expecting before. Roger that, thank you, TFDi 1, we'll be with you soon.
Colin.
Yes.
So for later streams, are we going to be showing off different liveries as well?
I would think so, yes.
Okay.
So, I don't know, the term study level sim has come about recently too. Over the last, I think, 6 months, I've heard it about 100 times, and before that, never heard it before. So I don't know who started that, but... And I know, I'm having a hard time getting the volume leveling here for VATSIM. I apologize, guys. VATSIM was actually a bit of a last-minute choice. We had friends who were willing to help us and provide coverage through the flight, and we wanted to show it flying in a more practical environment than just a perfect... you know, sandbox. That's why we like to do that. If it becomes cumbersome or annoying throughout the flight, we will disconnect. Not because we can't handle it, obviously, but because we want to make sure the stream isn't annoying. And somebody made a comment about incorrect cockpit geometry. The majority of the cockpit has been fixed. There are still pieces here and there that are wrong. Like I said, this is not finished. This isn't even the full beta model yet. This is still to be corrected before it's finished. Especially, you know, there's a couple, like I said, elephants in the room, we called them, with switches on the overhead and things like that. They work, but they're not quite where we want them yet. So, our flight plan for today is going to be, like I said, PHLI to PHOG. We'll go ahead and get things ready to get started here. It's been plenty of time for the APU air to become available. Before I drain the battery, let me go ahead and recycle emergency power. To show off some of our systems. Actually show off the test and all that cool stuff.
Fire, left engine. APU fire. Fire, right engine.
Alright, and I guess, Brendan, is there anything, have any ideas, anything you'd like to say before we get ready to go here?
I'm good for now. Are you connected to VATSIM under the correct tail number? Because it's showing
TFDi 1.
Oh, whoops, I'm unintelligent.
Alrighty. Also, I guess we'll talk about this. I get to show this off to you before we get too far into this. I've been asked about this a couple times. If we turn on one of the packs, you'll notice we have this sound that actually quiets down in the cockpit. This thing has fans behind the instrument panel that when there's no airflow from the packs, turn on to help keep the displays cool and prevent them from literally burning out and becoming inoperable. So, in the real plane, regardless of whether or not you actually have airflow, turning those switches on will cause the fans to turn off, so you got to be careful with that. In this case, we do have packed air pressure, or no, we don't. There we go. See? Glad I checked. Okay, now we're good. I just like the sound of the switch, honestly. Alrighty, I'd say we'll go ahead and get ready for pushback here. Or I guess pushback may not be the right term. Push the light buttons for the sake of completeness. The on light doesn't show up just yet. We kind of do everything in waves, so we worked on the electrical system first, And then we worked on the, I think it was the hydraulics next, and then the fuel. And then we did some with the air system, some with the engine, some more with the air system, some of the displays. So you'll notice there's areas that look very complete and thorough, and then some that are totally blank. That's not because, it's not really an indication of how far along we are, it's just that we haven't focused on that area yet. A lot of them, like the lights and things like that, are really only a week or two worth of work, which is why we're not stressing out about them. Alright, so, without further ado, let's go ahead and get it ready to go here. We'll go over different systems and things that anybody asks or that I feel like is important to share, or Brandon wants to share, or Josh wants to share later on, and whoever there. I really just want to show everybody it flying, because we have yet to show any screenshots, pictures, or videos of it in the air. Today will be the first time we actually get to see that happen.
Would you like to show some of the synoptic displays?
Sure. Yeah, well, let's see what the viewers want. Would you rather us get up in the air and we'll show you some of the stuff while we're flying, or do you want to see more on the ground? We'll do some more now before things start getting hectic. We actually did lower the camera to the one asking us about the camera height. I moved it down a little bit already. The viewpoint is a little bit awkward. And we've got, alright, seems like everybody wants us to do it while flying, so let's get it ready to go. Alright. Electric looks good. Alright. Alright, Brandon, you want to go ahead and pull the right starter for me?
Sure. You ready?
Yep.
Yes, this does have the TSS sound pack currently.
My sounds, I've always got my volume a little weird in my sim, so if it's not 100% right yet, don't worry too much about that. A, that's customizable, B, that'll get reviewed again before the stream. Now, it hanging here at N2 23% or so is not actually unrealistic. This is the EEC holding off on the start for us here. There it goes. 2D panels. Okay. This is an awkward question for us. We're not doing a full 2D panel set. I'll come right out and say that. We're not going to have a full 2D cockpit. Some pop-ups for frequently used areas that are used on other screens or for things like that, yes. The displays will be able to be popped up to use on on a tablet or something like that if you want to, but the entire panel will not exist there. To fly everts, yes. Brandon and I are both flying the same plane right now. This is a connected flight deck flight, or we're calling our shared cockpit connected flight deck. There was Aerosoft's term. It's just kind of become standard. But yes, that is us. Brandon, if you want to go ahead and pull the left fuel pump for me here, or the left fuel switch. I'm gonna get our fuel pumps running here.
There is a terrain radar, but it's not in this build currently. Correct, Colin?
Correct. Terrain radar and WXR are both. Actually, the WXR is functional already, but I've disabled it because it's not 100% ready yet. That is courtesy of the Rex Milviz weather radar that we worked on them with, and that's a very cool thing to see.
It is. I've gone to see it, guys, and trust me, it's gonna be awesome. We'll show it next stream, maybe, probably.
Yes. People must be pouring in here because I keep getting the shared cockpit question. Yes, there is a shared cockpit. We're flying with it right now. Currently, I'm streaming with OBS. I'm getting a little around 30 with the mouse in the cockpit, but my computer is also not necessarily the best for flight sim anymore. It's been many years.
Would you like what do you have in your computer right now so people can kind of compare their computer to it?
I have an i7 30-something, 3700K, I think it's a couple years old, and the GTX 670 and 8 gigs of RAM, well, it doesn't matter. But the important thing to note here is I'm on Skype, broadcasting, watching the broadcast, kinda, through the preview window, and trying to fly this thing all at the same time. So, it's not, what the performance you see here is not indicative of what you'll get, both because of your computer, because you won't be doing everything I'm doing, and because it's going to get reviewed more before release. Nothing you see here today is final. This is actually your time. If you have anything you'd like to say, now's your time to let us know. Because we're not 100% done yet. We're about less than that. I hate giving numbers, so.
Oh, this is a fun question, Colin. Has there ever been something in the plane that we had difficulty getting information for and we almost came close to giving up on it?
Yes, the engine performance, as a matter of fact. FSX's engine performance on EPR ratings is abysmal. And we have done everything we can to get information from the engine manufacturer, airlines, whatever we can come up with to get more accurate numbers for those. and that's been a witch hunt so far. Also to Air Daddy, the switches on the overhead, yes, they're literally just wrapped in a steel paint at this point. They are not finished yet. Some of them are capped off the way they should be. They're not capped off the way they should be. Oh, no, absolutely, yes, it's a VTOL aircraft, because they all are. It's like the real ones, right? Now, JIPWIS, yes, we have most of the, I'd say about 70% of the JIPWIS callouts are there, though the test switch doesn't work yet, as I wanted to finish the JIPWIS system first. Like I said, this is not a finished product yet.
Also, if you're interested in entering into the giveaway for the 717 when it releases, go ahead and type the exclamation point first, or type the command exclamation point first flight into chat, and you'll be entered automatically.
Down there a little bit in the background. Nice aircraft, I like that. There will be a fully functional FMC. As of now, the flight management system is there but disabled from user input, so we can click it all day long and it's not going to do anything at this moment.
Will the cockpit windows be animated? That I'm not entirely sure if we will yet. It depends on if we can get the proper resources to see how they open. It's a decently complex mechanism, and if we can't do it right, then we tend to not do it. That's pretty much been our policy on this plane. So yeah, it's just going to depend on if we can get proper reference we need for that.
Two questions I saw, well, three actually. Virtual cabin, no, for the sake of performance. We want to make sure the cockpit can be complete and accurate and detailed without worrying about it hitting any kind of limits or memory or anything like that, and cabins add a lot to it. As far as the load manager goes, that will be done. There will be an external load manager. You can pre-flight the aircraft, specify what you're flying. It'll also have the option to, while you're in the sim, of course, set your new loadout between flights and whatnot and everything like that. What systems do you think have we not been able to do? Let's make that. Most viewers I've ever seen in a flight sim stream. Hey, that's an accolade. If that's true, that's an accolade we will gladly accept. Oh, thank you, whoever said that. We appreciate that. We couldn't be happier so far. This is better than we were hoping for, honestly.
What's the progress on the overall VC textures? It's a majority of the textures are done. Most of what's left is just to go over some knobs and switches. Primarily, a lot of the push buttons and knobs will get new textures, but for the most part, a lot of the major work on accuracy has been done on the VC already.
Somebody asked, we've got a couple questions in about performance, which of course is a huge deal. You know what, actually guys, Josh, you do me a favor, can you field some important questions for me? I want to get the stream rolling here, or else we could talk all day, because we've got so much to share. I want to get us rolling here and get us in the air, and I'm not going to be able to answer questions while I'm taxiing out and everything. So if you could start prepping us some good questions, please remember who asked them so I can address them correctly, and then we'll I'm
going to throw a link out in chat to everyone. This is a Facebook link. We have a discussion opened up for everyone to submit their questions. If you want to have a high chance of your question being answered or something like that, for me to remember it. Chat's going by super fast, so I'm not going to be able to get all that information, but if you post it in there, I'm going to be going through there later and selecting a few questions to ask them. Probably quite a few. So go ahead and go here and check it out and give us your questions and let us know, and we'll go ahead and say your name or not. You let us know in the comments, say if you want us to say your name or not, and we'll go ahead and ask some questions and answer them.
No, I hate to ask, but how is this? Lahui? Lahui is what it is?
Lahui, yeah.
Lahui, okay. Yeah. I've been joking around calling it Lahui, and I almost called it that legitimately, and that would be great. Alright, so it looks like we have Lahui Tower now, which is even better, so.
Oh, cool.
Fantastic.
I've never seen them online before on Bad Sims, so.
I think our buddies
one question I did want to answer. This project, we will have started about, when we hit August of this year, it will have been 4 years since we started the project.
There we go. Livery Tower.
American 131.
And where are we going to go here?
We will be showing night lighting at a later stream, not in this stream.
Josh, correct me if I'm wrong here. We're going to be traveling roughly east from this point, right?
Correct. You're going to be traveling east to Maui. So.
Roger that. Howdy. Livery Tower, TFDi-1 ready for taxi. And I think I just stepped on somebody. Oh, great. Gotta love it.
Even developers will step on people. Sorry, guys.
TFDi-1, Livery Tower, good afternoon, runway 3, taxi via Alpha, Mike, altimeter 3012.
Roger, taxi via Mike Alpha, altimeter 3012, runway 3, TFDi-1. Brandon, you want to go ahead and give us, well, stab trim 0, that's fine. Want to go ahead and give us flaps 13?
Sure.
Hopefully I can make this turn. Come on, man.
Differential brake.
No, I'm barely even moving. I have my dude, I have my rudder slammed to the floor. Ready to be going runway 03, so. That makes us happy when, you know, somebody, if you call yourself a critic and you're telling us you like this plane, that makes us happy. Tell you what, we've spent a lot of time focusing on doing this plane how we think it should be done, not what others have done, not what the standard is. And he said runway 03, so I want to go this way. Okay. Yeah, this plane actually flies differently than you're expecting. I guarantee you that. It's now that we've had a couple of revisions with our flight dynamics guy and some time to really review how the flight controls respond and everything. It's been an interesting plane to learn to fly. The tiller. The tiller, man. That's somebody asked this question about that. I saw that coming in here. I spent way more time than we should have spent on this.
Livery Tower, good afternoon.
And the tiller, FSX, claims to simulate separation from the tiller and the rudder, except it doesn't really. I can set the tiller full left, and if I hit the rudder on my pedals to the right, I get a nose wheel center. And because of that, we were really never able to do that. The only way to do it would be to 100% custom rotate the plane on the ground. And without doing 100% external flight dynamics engine, that's bound to always be somewhat awkward and unnatural feeling, and I don't want to see that happen. So as of now, although the tiller does move with the nose, as you can see down there, it's the rudder axis for now.
On 118.9.
Sadly.
Squawk 0602 for line 808.
No, it wasn't for lack of trying, it's not for lack of understanding. So.
Line 808, read that correct.
Alright, so let me know if the sounds a little loud here. Let me go ahead and back that down. There. Anybody who's having trouble with hearing me,
For departure, line 808.
you go ahead and please tell me if that's any better, guys.
Line 808,
Excuse
read
me,
that
let me-
correct. Expect runway 3 for departure, altimeter 3.
Find V pilot my task bar. I've got a stack of books sitting on my yoke holding it down right now, so I'm going to lean over it.
Departure, we'll call you when we're in taxi, line 808.
I just lowered the ATC a bit more. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. Cool. So, well, the engines will be plenty loud once we get in the air. No worries, guys. Remember, they're very far behind us too, so they naturally will be quieter than normal planes. Do we want to do this with VATSIM, guys, or at this point, are we starting to think that might be more annoying to the viewers? Because it seems like the volume-wise is becoming an issue.
I think that we may not want to use VATSIM because we might get stepped on by accident.
Yeah,
just
did you
trying
want
to
to
talk.
today?
Please stand by for TFDi 1 sec.
Why don't we get takeoff clearance, and then we'll say no need for flight following.
Well, we're still gonna have him in the back. I guess we can always turn off frequency. True. Okay. So yeah, during the flight we will make sure that we do not continue to have that on. Okay. Then let's do that. And Livery Tower, TFDi 1 ready for takeoff runway 3. We do not need flight following. It's gonna be departure of the east. I don't even know if I needed to tell him departure of the east. My VFR is a little rusty.
Roger. Squawk normal.
Colin.
Hang on 1 second. We missed the last half of that. Sorry about that, TFDi 1. Give me 1 sec, Josh. I'm already getting annoying.
TFDi 1, squawk normal and line up away from runway 3.
Roger, squawk normal, line up and wait. TFDi 1.
Alright. Do you want to show him the transponder? The 2 different modes?
That's actually not the way it works. Found out, reviewed the FCOM not too long after that, and ended up being a different system.
Oh, okay. Well, awesome.
It does. There's an ambient wind sound you'll hear right now with the packs on, which we can turn off. I'm not going to at the moment, but I'll test it. I'll show you shortly here. Go ahead and see if I can handle lining this up decently at all. Hey, that wasn't too bad. Look at that. Fight. Now you're not going to hear it, of course, because the packs turn off and then the cockpit fans get way louder, so it's kind of a wash. But there is a difference in sound. There's an actual pack sound separate from the
TFDi 1
pack sound.
040, correct, wind 050 at 16, runway 3, clear for takeoff.
Roger, clear for takeoff, runway 3, TFDi 1. All right, everybody, buckle your seatbelts. Let's There will be a seatbelt sign sound. Don't worry about that. We do have it. It needs a little audio work. Let's do it, guys.
So in the words of Dane Flats, let's rock and roll. Anyone who's seen me screaming is not.
110. I'm gonna do V1 around 25. Rotate. Oh, come on, yoke. Not the time, not the time. Yoke started sliding off my desk. That was way heavier than I was expecting it to be. Let's go ahead and get positive rate. Let's get gear up. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this over to 122.8 on the radios, please.
Long way around.
I'm having a very hard time controlling the plane thanks to my yoke sliding all over my desk. Kills me, man. You know, I was ready for this. We flew it last night, getting ready for the stream. Joystick is fine. 3 minutes before the stream, this joystick decides it's not playing along. I'm gonna go ahead and hold us at around 5,000. What's up with the flaps? Oh, alright. You know what? This is ridiculous, man. I'm actually glad we have the AFS ready. Now it's trying to do MCT thrust on me. I cannot get a hold of it. Oh, this yoke is half in my lap. Can you go ahead and trim me up, Brendan?
Yes. That's the wrong way.
Stabilizer
Doesn't like
motion.
that.
That's fine. Keep going. Hold it up. Just hold it.
Stabilizer motion.
I'll let you know. As soon as I can release back pressure, I'll tell you.
Stabilizer motion.
Keep going.
This is a
Stabilizer
this is a
motion.
flight controller, not a.
This is actually no. This is not the plane, for the record, guys. This is making me cringe internally. All right, auto flight's turn.
Altitude.
Not my problem anymore. There we go. Oh, thank God. Okay. Woo! All right. I don't know how landing is going to be possible. This is going to be insane. Oh man. That's and of course it's all on film for us too. Okay. Alrighty. Well, autoflight. Now I'll take a chance here to get to talk about the autoflight functionality. Autoflight currently, it does work. It is a little finicky. If you give it some time to settle out, it'll get where it's going. Just don't take this as final right now. We will be tuning that a lot. We actually held off on some of the real fine tuning because we were finishing up the flight dynamics. As I'm sure you've been able to tell throughout this plane is very far along. It is not done. The point of this stream has been to get everybody on the same page and to really show what we're working toward, not what you're buying today if you were to buy it. It's not released today. You gotta be careful with my wording. yeah, but as you see here, it is functioning. And I actually see La Hui out there, so I'm going to go ahead and take us on a little bit more of an indirect route.
Colin,
Yes.
the sounds were recorded off the actual airplane, correct?
I would think so, yes. It's TSS
Yes.
717.
Yes. So that
There's actually pictures of the aircraft that he recorded them with, the ship with the sound pack for us, and we'll see if we can get those included in the final one. Thought it was kind of cool to actually get to see it. Oh, and we will disconnect the autopilot, just let everybody hear it scream at you incessantly, for sure. Hoping this doesn't kill everybody's ears. If it does, let me know and I'll stop it as soon as I can. The FMC flight modes, not at the moment. That's a whole different can of worms. That's going to come with the FMS. A lot of that is just dependent on LNAV. The LNAV system is pretty much the FMS telling us, where we're trying to go. Once we have heading speed, pitch bank out, all that stuff set, then FMS modes are essentially just setting the target for the autopilot to whatever the FMS says it is. So it seems like it's a big missing component, but really we're building the foundation that requires first. So now that we've got some time, let's do it.
Autopilot.
And yes, like the real one, you
Autopilot.
can press this till you're blue in the face, it's not going to do anything.
Autopilot.
You actually either have to acknowledge it with the
Autopilot.
button here on the yoke, for that, or with the button on the side of the throttle, in the case of auto throttle, or re-engage it, and then it'll stop. But and Josh, do you have any questions? Let's move along from there. We're settled down for a little bit now. Oh, somebody's it must be me. The actual auto throttle servo, if you move the throttle, you can overforce the ATS throttle control, and then it'll slowly slide it back like you just saw happen here. My throttle controller likes to flicker sometimes, so that would be what that is. That's not the auto throttle code doing that.
Colin.
Yes.
I think we forgot to show a very small thing, something that adds to every flight. Why don't you turn the clock on?
Oh, yes. Yes. Our little clock that actually got added last night at about 11 o'clock. Hey, clock! We actually wanted to... I saw that it was there, and I figured this would actually be helpful for the sake of figuring out where we're going, considering we're going VFR and Hope with Dead Reckoning and whatnot, so... Oh, yes, I'd like to show this. Something that this plane has that I'm not actually sure if the 737 has. It used to be my favorite aircraft. I think it's obvious what it will probably be now. The display has an option for track mode, which can show us our actual ground track, which I thought was really cool, because especially when you're flying VFR, you don't have to worry about accounting for the wind offset yourself. You switch it over to track mode, and now you're flying that true track over the ground. So if I know that PHOG right now is, roughly 110 away from us, if I turn us 110, no matter track, no matter what the wind is, we're still going to get there. So I thought that was a very cool system, and of course we do simulate that properly. Okay, so somebody in the chat here, 717, or 737 does not have it, a 777 does. Yeah, you know what, let's do it. Let's do the close-ups of the displays here. Actually, go ahead and... we'll do the displays here. There's a couple of display systems I want to show off. We've got the PFD. We even have the little hatch marks looking line effect that happens on some of the inner colors on these. This system, you can actually... We're stable right now, so I'm not going to mess with it too much, but the altitude does its little scroll as they come to different speeds. These work. The selected and pre-selected altitude information here. Let me see if I can actually open up another view here and... Everybody. Again, while I'm doing this, performance is not going to be great either, and it never is, so...
And yes, this is FSX. Our 717 will work on boxed FSX, FSX Steam Edition, prepared V2, and
no.
V3.
If anybody just caught what I just did there, I almost told us to fly to 380 knots, or 338 knots. But yeah, the altitude and speed bugs. We actually have done something with these that, like, it's industry standard, but important to note, that if you scroll the AFS knobs for a while, they will accelerate. So you don't have to scroll 350 times to get to flight level 350. Now, I should demonstrate that here. It moves a lot faster if you're trying to cover a large distance, as opposed to if I scroll slowly, it'll just move in hundreds.
Colin and Josh, am I quiet for you guys?
A little bit. Let me go ahead and actually turn up Skype here so the audio is going to stop for a second. Everybody gets to hear me loud and clear for a sec. Alright, that should be better. Somebody... I'm going to go ahead and skip that. Change the altimeter. The altimeter actually is... I don't know why... No, here's what we did. I remember the altimeter had a reason for not being in just yet. The captain and co-pilot's altimeter are separate in the real aircraft, and they can be set to their own settings, obviously, for the sake of redundancy. The FSX SDK doesn't provide that to us just yet, so we're in the process of simulating our own altimeter instead, so they can be truly isolated. Because we have a way of doing in this plane, if the captain and co-pilot systems are isolated in the real aircraft, they are in ours as well, because we simulate connected flight deck, and it's built so much around the idea of doing that. And of course, I just noticed that the track mode says track H on a display. That's fantastic. Awesome. That's not supposed to say that. Shh. Liveries. Okay, I've seen the ice question and the wing flex question. That's a couple times to get those settled. Wing flex, for sure. That'll be getting added. The icing system. Brendan, what do you think? How doable is proper ice simulation?
I think we could do it. I don't want to say yes until we actually give it a go on our end. Something that I've wanted to do, but I'd like to actually implement it first, and then be sure that it is something that's a viable option.
Okay, well then there you have it, guys. As long as it's not impossible without killing performance or anything like that, I'm pretty much game as far as code is concerned. I'd like to actually, like I said, we'll get into a couple of questions here, and then I actually want to discuss some things we talked about. As far as that's concerned, icing should be doable.
Liveries.
Liveries, yes. What we actually wanted to do with the liveries, obviously there aren't that many for the 717, so it's not the same as the 737 where there's some high double-digit, or I think even triple-digit number of carriers that have it. In our case, it's a lot smaller, so they will all be simulated one way or another. But our intent for the longest time, and we may still do, was to sometime before release, not today, to discuss with community repainters, either professionals or freeware, about working with them to provide paints made by the community for the community prior to release. Somebody asked me about simulating failures. To an extent, we are not doing mechanical failures of the systems. The only real failures we intend to simulate are kind of things that as passengers does to you while you're flying. The engine fails, something like that, you will see that. But anything that you can click in the cockpit to make something happen will work. So that's where I want to draw that line. When we say we simulate normal procedures, it doesn't just mean we only simulate switches you hit in normal flight. It means that we only simulate stuff assuming that the plane is mechanically functional. That's where our difference is. Somebody asked about the drag from the landing lights. I actually don't know how noticeable the drag from that would be. I mean, the surface for the landing lights is very small. I haven't done a lot of research on those myself yet. Like I said, we kind of work in areas. So the hydraulics, fuel, pneumatic, engine, I'm very knowledgeable on, but the light system, not so much yet. When we get there, we'll do some more reviewing that. If we do feel that it's necessary to simulate the plane properly, then we will do that. Circuit breakers, no, we will not be doing.
As far as any future aircraft, we've had our plans for the past 2 or 3 years of what we're going to do next, but we're not talking about that yet.
Yes, that's going to come sometime other than now. As far as the... Oh, no, I just forgot it here. Somebody asked me something else, and I forgot what it was. Okay. Climb thrust and IIS climb. Oh boy, climb thrust. Okay, I'm gonna preface this with, although the code is there, climb thrust is little harsh at the moment. I'll demonstrate it, but I'm gonna preface it with this would probably make you vomit. It will not stay this way.
Stabilizer motion.
The speed to climb ratio has not been perfected yet. So it goes a little higher than it should and then slows down and then settles down. That's why it's a little bit different. Okay, and at Whiskey Sim, now that you've explained it to us, I'm actually, if that's true and that's how it works, then I'm more than willing to take a look into it. That seems like it would be definitely something worth checking into. And it's gonna fly way past 8,000. Perfect.
Yes, we're going to space.
Yes. Oh, oh man, we're gonna overshoot by like 500 feet. This is what I was saying with the tuning on the autopilot performance. Like I said, it does do its job, but you gotta give it a sec. I think it could probably make it to the moon. We were talking to Elon Musk last night about potentially working with him on SpaceX, so and maybe if he likes our technology, we'll go from there. But yeah, that was not the best example. Like I said, my autopilot right now, this is not at all where I want it. So do not think that's final. Do not expect to see it do that in the copy you guys will be flying. That's not how it's going to work. But it was requested, so I figured I would show it.
Colin.
We did an IIS climb during the end of the climb out, by the way. So that's why I did that one. We've already seen that. Yes, Josh.
So any word on anything we're going to be announcing about Flight Simcon or anything like that, or you
Sure.
will be there?
Sure. Anybody who is interested, we will be at Flight Simcon this weekend. And I'm trying to buy a shirt so you'd be able to pick me out of the crowd, but turns out they decided not to ship my shirt until today, and it may or may not be here, so you may have to pick me out if you know me, so you know what I look like. But we will be at Flight Simcon, yes, long story short, in some way or another. We will not have a booth, though. We didn't think that was really necessary, as the plane's not out yet. But I figured that's important to note. Alright, somebody had asked us to show more of the displays. I do want to do that. The displays, like everything else, I feel like a broken record, but the displays are not final. But just about all of these synoptic displays have most of what they're going to be showing. So it's kind of most parts of most displays are functional. So here we are. We showed our PFD already. We get to see it with the IRS off on the ground.
You want to turn off one of the displays and show how it reacts?
We'll go there. Yeah, we'll get there in a second.
Okay.
Nav display. We do indeed have the ability to show the VORs and airports in the displays already. Becomes a little cluttered if you put them both on there, so I tend not to. Yes, weather radar. Well, as of now, we're not sure about Active Sky. It will for sure support the Rex Milviz one. We're not sure about Active Sky yet. We'll come back to that. We'll know a little later on. The in-op sticker we've seen asked a couple times. That just our standby display. We just got to finish coding that. It's there. We already have the internal framework for it. It just needs to be literally the front end coded into the screen. Somebody asked about dial-a-flap. The dial-a-flap is actually already simulated. I feel bad for not showing that during departure here. I'm actually going to sit in your lap, so to speak, Brandon, and show this to everybody. So we can actually. I'm not going to deploy the flaps at the moment because we're at 250 knots. That's not smart, but this does work. Whatever I set this to, it's going to scroll to. And then if I were to move the flaps handle through, it would sit at whatever detent it's supposed to be, and it would work there. So for now, I'm going to return it to 0.
LLA117. We're not giving any sort of specifics on release dates or anything like that because we want to make sure this aircraft is how we think it should be before we push it out. We're aiming for before 2016. We think we're going to hit there, but we do not want to give any specifics because last thing we want to do is rush a beautiful aircraft like this.
Now, somebody mentioned that our website is down. We were having issues with it. It's up for us now. Just give it some time, clear your cache. I don't know what's going on with that. That's that's not my main concern at this exact moment. We'll be taking care of that the second the stream's over.
Pretty much just Murphy's Law.
Of course.
Yes.
And we tested all this. We did everything in advance. Went through everything 45 times it feels like, and still somehow right at the very end. And that's everything decides to fail. My joystick breaks, the site goes down because that's just how it goes. But roll with the punches, and here we are still. So we'll move on to the rest of the displays here. I want to keep showing those. So the synoptic display. or I guess system display. I've been mislabeling it the whole time. The system display. I'm very happy with how this has come out. We have, of course, all the screens simulated to show you the different information about the plane. That's actually been kind of our framework for coding a lot of the controls, because we want to make sure that those displays are actually useful for you. So, we'll go through these all here. We're on the engine display now, naturally.
And again, to answer the shared cockpit question, Colin, if you're looking at the main displays right now, I'm just going to turn the brightness of the TFDi just to prove this.
Alright, there he goes, yeah. No hands! Look, Mom, no hands! I'm not even touching my controls right now. It's, Brandon's moving that around for us. We are flying in shared cockpit right now. And actually, you know what, let me go ahead and pull up the menu for that. I'll show everybody how that works. So, we have the option, real-time, to switch roles. If something were to become desynchronized, if the positions were to get out of sync with each other, that something happened, you know, network issue, whatever might happen, unlike other systems that just say, oh, well, you know, good for you, and you're done. Ours, you can force a resync to make everything back to itself again and get both sides resynced together. We have the option to, of course, end it here, and I'm not going to end the session at the moment because that would be kind of silly. But that's that. So, alright, where are we? I guess I'm a little concerned. We've just been flying out into the ocean now. Okay.
You have. Well, I'll pull you up on my radar real quick.
Okay, I have my airports off on the display because I stopped seeing, is that Hilo? Or is that PHOG?
No, Kahalui.
Kahalui. Oh, man, you know, I feel people are going to think I'm the most uneducated tool flying this thing. I have no idea where we're going. I know the ICAO, I know its general location, but Hawaii is not my usual AO, so.
Alright, you should probably turn right. I would say heading 130 might be a good idea.
You want us to do heading or track?
Ooh, I don't know actually.
It's only a couple degrees different right now, so you know, we'll just do track.
Yeah.
Somebody asked us about the shared cockpit communication protocol and about the 717 TCAS. We will have it. Yes, it's not in right now. TCP, the shared cockpit is TCP. And about the 717 pilots, yes, we have crew members, pilots, and similar on our team, of course, to verify. A lot of the information, some of the quirky things we've coded you can't find in the books. There's some stuff that it just behaves differently, and of course, Boeing wouldn't want to write down its own bugs, or, you know, McDonnell Douglas wouldn't want to write down their own bugs in the FCOM, so unless they're game changers, they don't really list them, but we do have a lot of them simulated. Some of them just aren't explained, but they're just features. We'll show that in a second. I do want to, I'm getting sidetracked, and I'm going to go on, I'm sorry, oh, go ahead.
Someone asked about X-Plane and Aerofly FS. So, X-Plane and Aerofly FS, I don't see us we have no plans right now for those sims. The major deal is that the framework and development methods for those sims are a lot different than ESP-based sims like FSX and Prepared. So it would be quite a lot of work for us to relearn an entirely new development platform. So of course we have to evaluate whether the effort is worth it to move to one of those platforms.
Though we always say we never rule anything out. So.
Yeah, I mean, not saying no, but at the time, we have no plans to.
I don't feel like throwing up again, so I'm going to disconnect this for a
Autopilot.
second while I reduce our altitude.
Autopilot.
Put us down to
Autopilot.
5,000 here.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
Okay, thank you. Stop now.
Autopilot.
Okay. Alrighty, so, another thing with the rest of the synoptic displays, because I have a tendency of doing this. I like to get sidetracked. I'm going to slow us down a little bit here so we don't whip right into the AO. And I don't know why I like that phrase, AO, so much. Anyway. Yeah, so we've got our consequences page. Doesn't really do anything too amazing. If we, for some reason, have a display we're showing,
Fire. Left engine.
you should actually be spaced out a little differently. But
GPU fire.
there's that. The hydraulics page. Here's this bad boy. We still have all of our aux pumps on. We probably don't need it on at this moment, but it's on anyway. Electrical shows all of our displays, and actually everything is standard at the moment. But what I can demonstrate is the level of simulation on some of these systems like this. any of you are familiar with this plane understand that the bus tie relays cause things to mess around with the electronics here, and rather than the right side generator powering the ground service bus as it should, an emergency AC bus, it actually, we just closed the relay there, so now the left side has to do it, and it now warns us that our right relay is open. So that's, the hydraulics page is actually very simple, by the way. These are these displays are visually very close to their real world counterparts. So if they do look simple, that would be because they are. And believe me, coding them, I am very happy when they're simple, so I don't complain. Our air page. We are currently at our pressurization system is one of the last things we're going to be working on in the core system. So if you're wondering why this is what it is, that's why. Our fuel page, also very simple. Fuel temperatures, again, they're currently set to 0. Sorry, just need to fill those numbers in with something. Config. This is probably one of my favorite screens. Well, that would be why I was having a hard time flying it. The aileron is trimmed to the left. How did nobody check that? Okay. Anyway. Well, yeah, I like this screen. I just think it's cool, the little drawing of the plane with all the motion and everything. It's I don't know, it's cool. And then we've got, if I can find it. And then we've got miscellaneous, which isn't actually in yet. It's the same. Miscellaneous contact and status are similar to these, but they just show text from different alerts. We do have the full EIS alert system working. So if I cause a display to happen here that it would complain about.
Also, I wanted to answer another question I saw. Why did we pick the 717 and not something like the C series? Well, the thing about the C series is it's a very new plane, and getting information and reference for that would be nearly impossible, I'm sure. But as far as why we picked the 717, at the time, it was just a plane that really hadn't been covered by the market. It's kind of just an empty hole that no one ever bothered doing properly.
And we can't see why. Now that we've actually gotten into it and really learned about it, it's actually a very cool plane. It's very unique. Despite its similarities to the MD-11, it does not feel like an MD-11 when you fly it. So, okay, one other thing. The display is one of the other quirky things we talked about. And when you turn one of the displays off, you'll see that they all reconfigure to switch over to it. And at Z Muffin Man, yes, we do have 717 pilots working with us on these. This feature actually came about due to information given to us by one of the pilots that I'm about to show you. When these displays turn off, they reconfigure. You can turn them off or turn them all the way here, and you see they move around. But the interesting part is, if for some reason you think it's a smart plan to turn off all 6 displays, they all come on full brightness instead. Which seems like a bug, but it's actually not. Brandon, I'm going to let you answer the MD-90 project question we had a little while ago.
No planes are out of the question, but we do have our future plans already, so, yeah, okay, why is it, don't take my stuttering as a yes, no, I just forgot how to English. Yeah, that was really bad. No, no aircraft is out of the question, but we do have our next aircraft lined up. And it also may not be what everyone's expecting either. That's all we'll say.
So, alrighty. Alright, Josh, let's go ahead and start getting us toward the airport. It looks like we've got 10 or so. We will have to talk to them if we're going to land, obviously, so.
Yes. If you want, turn right, heading in 16 position.
Tracker heading. Do you want to switch back to mag heading?
Let's stick to mag heading from here on out, because that's how they're going to be giving it to you.
Okay.
In regards to the MCDs, they're going to be independent of each other, correct?
Yes, everything, all the captains and co-pilot systems are decoupled as they should be. So, in the case of the PFD next year, Brandon, if you like, go ahead and, while it's on screen here, if you like to go ahead and mess with your display range and airport settings and everything, we'll get to go ahead and show that off real time.
Oh, oops, I'm totally hitting space trying to move my view around and realized it was in the chat. Let's see. just go ahead and increase my range. We'll make this a little brighter.
Now, and I want to actually take a second to go into why we're able to do this. The way we've done our displays, all of the plane actually, is multi-core. This is not running on the same single thread that FSX uses to do all of its work. So in the case of looking up the airports, even if that takes us 2 solid seconds to look it up, let's say, that happens in the background all by itself. Everything else could continue running in the process. Anything that we have like that that's really performance intensive or that has doing a lot of the work is separated from FSX. So it's not a bottleneck the way that a lot of other add-ons are. Brandon, could you turn your mic up a little bit, by the way?
It's at full volume.
Naturally. Okay. See if I can crank Skype up a little higher here.
We're gonna blow out Colin's ears, but...
Say, I won't be able to hear you after there, but they will.
Colin, so for visual reference, there should be one island in front of you, Molokai. That is the long island, and then behind that is Lanai. And that is going to be the island. Once you fly over, I'm going to want you to turn to a heading of probably 110.
I actually do have the airport on the nav display right now.
Okay, cool, perfect. So you shouldn't need me anymore, but you're going to be landing more than likely onto runway 2, which is going to be opposite of the direction you're flying.
That's fine. I don't mind doing the this corkscrew in here. It will have auto land, yes. Our rule with this pretty much is if the real plane has it, so will ours. To what extent sometimes is that will vary depending on what's possible in FSX. I don't know what's going on with the display here. For some reason, it seems to think that our compass is trying to draw on the screen for some reason. It happens. What is it doing?
Once again, everyone, this is an in-development build. There are some bugs. This is not into beta yet, so please judge it as such.
Okay, hopefully that'll stop. Fully custom flight dynamics engine. It is the FSX flight dynamics model, but we have done some expanding on that. Namely, the flaps, flight controls. We'll be doing some custom drag things. There's going to be some stuff there that does not work with default. It's not FSX default stuff. Your controllers and everything will work with it. Yes, that'll work, but. As far as the base flying, okay, developed an accent for one word. As far as the base flying itself, it is still the FSX flight dynamics engine, just for the sake of not being another year in development beyond what it is now. And we've been able to get fairly close, despite the limitations. Within what's standard for FSX, of course. There are some things that all aircraft share limitation-wise, and there's not a whole lot we can do about that. I think Majestic is the only one to have ever solved that.
Colin, so the winds are going 060, 16, gusting 26.
Oh, good.
Not that it's going to be a problem for you, since right now we're currently not on live weather. But that's
I actually think V-Pilot might be injecting the weather into my sim anyway, because I currently have a tailwind of 8 knots, and okay. I don't remember setting that. So.
All right. So that should that's what they're going to be reporting to you.
Oh, we have a question about the documentation.
Oh, yes. That actually is not set in stone yet. We will provide solid reference material based on the FCOM, AOM, and regular checklists and everything. Exactly how many pages, what it'll be based off of, what information to cover is not 100% determined yet, but rest assured there will be enough there will be enough reference there for you to fly it like the pilots do and to really experience the plane and all of its things that you can do.
Will there be a PMDG operations center-like program? That is one thing that we are planning on doing. I can't really say any specifics of it yet because we're not quite ready to talk about that, but we would like to do something that will let you manage a lot of parts of this aircraft.
Yes.
Will that include load and stuff?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So to answer that question, people have been asking a lot. That'll be one of the things that you can manage outside.
And the support will not be done through AvSim. Absolutely not. Support will be done likely through our website. We have been considering doing some sort of community forum or Facebook group or something that doesn't require you opening a private ticket with us, just so if one user solves it or wants to contribute, others can as well.
Colin.
That last question in chat. Do we want to talk about that?
Why not?
All right.
Yeah.
I guess now is as good a time as any. To any of you who are familiar with our smart cars program, the flight computer will indeed integrate directly with smart cars. You will be able to use dispatch to get your flight information, to start your flight through smart cars. You'll be able to look up and search flights through there. That will be very integrated, and that's something we've been wanting to hold back. We've been holding back on for a while. That will be very cool to get to show everybody working. So that's that answer that.
Will this be the first plane that actually has a somewhat similar ACARS system to the real world?
Well, I don't even know how realistic smart cars is in terms of real world ACARS. It's very specific to what the workflow is in our environment. So, that being the case, that is the only part of the airplane where we will be deviating from the real world for the sake of convenience, because smart cars offers features that the pilots need to fly in the virtual world. So that being the case, it is the only aircraft that'll simulate a true ACARS like that, but it won't necessarily be the exact copy of the real one, because it can't be. It won't work.
Oh, go ahead.
So reduced takeoff thrust, yes, that's part of the FMS performance. Flight computer performance stuff is going to be simulated. At this point, this is only base level stuff. You know what's actually happening, by the way? I just noticed that flickering you see on the display. I'm pretty sure that's the autopilot trying to figure out what direction we're turning to go to our heading, and it keeps thinking as we deviate slightly to the left. It thinks we're trying to do a 360-degree turn to where we currently are, so it's drawing a circle. That's what that is. That's going to get fixed. I just now finally figured out what it is.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's how most debugging goes on this aircraft.
That is, yeah, actually. It's I do want to talk about some development stuff later on, Josh. Once I get going, I just keep rambling, so I apologize for cutting you off there.
No worries. And to anyone actually wondering, this has been a question everyone has asked me. I believe I've been asked this question probably at least 100 times regarding how much it will cost to come out, or how much it will cost to purchase the plane. I'll let you know. We will be answering that question in this stream later during the question and answer session.
And we will not be discussing release date, but we will be discussing the future from here. We have said that this is the year of the 717. We'll clarify a little more about that when we get on the ground. Actually,
Also, someone asked, will there be flight attendants to bring you your coffee? Sadly, I think we're going to have to leave that for real life.
You know, every time I've ever seen a co-pilot or a flight attendant simulated in a plane in FSX, they're just plain creepy, man. Like, it's because it doesn't look realistic, and I just have this triangular woman staring at me, and that's, oh man, no.
It's
awful.
You
know, I'm gonna hold back on that. I want to get everybody hyped up at the end for that when we talk about pricing, because I'm excited to announce that. But, and that sounds terrible. That's not what I meant. Not because we're going to charge $10,000 or anything obnoxious like that, but because you're actually going to, I think people will be happy with the decisions we've made there. So this is and hey, Jackson, Jack7 is in the chat. He actually used to, he worked with us years ago, back when we were a freeware group, and that's cool, man. That's very cool to see think about that. It's come a long way. It's a trip for us, too. There are currently not pilots in the exterior view. We actually have a couple of people who in our team who we believe are candidates for having their faces immortalized forever in this plane, thanks to their commitment and helping us with it. It's not us. We have people who've donated a lot of their time and have just been absolutely irreplaceable for us, and we will be simulating them to thank them in a way for that, as well as completing that part of the plane. So that's something you'll see later on. We'll probably have a whole blog article just about that. Let's take a look at the exterior. Well, we'll do a look at the exterior once we get the flaps down and start getting ready for approach. We'll show that off a little bit more.
Show off your guys' names on the front of that. That one I thought was really cool because we took that from shades of Boeing their test flights with their captain names on the side.
Yes.
I was supposed to show them that. Shout out to Brandon for that wonderful.
I can't get a view even close. Hang on. That's hard to do, man. I'm terrible at FSXVs anyway. Somewhere. Oh, wait. Oh, there's... Oh, maybe. Nope. Kind of see it there. Can I move this view? I can. Oh, there we go. All right. I don't know how I'm going to get to show Brandon's, but... Now, keep in mind, it looks low res because I'm zoomed in 16 times. That's why it looks like that. But oh yes, panel state. That's something we wanted to go over. We actually introduced something new in this plane called persistence, which is an option you can have set. Of course, there'll be panel states, yes, but persistence, you also have the option to, every time you leave the plane, have it save your current state, so the next time you load it up, no matter where it may be located, the systems are in the same state automatically, and it's instant. It just happens in the background. And that's something we thought was really cool, and something we wanted to talk about, and that's one of the things that makes it feel like you're actually keeping this plane. This is your plane. It's not just a disposable aircraft that just disappears when you close your sim. At the moment, most of our textures are 2K. For the sake of memory, we did not go 4K on all of them. I think Brandon can answer that better than I can, though. There's more to that.
I'm sorry. I was reading some of the questions. What's the question?
Well, I guess persistence. Yeah, persistent abilities. I think we're getting more and more behind because I'm noticing the comments on what I just said are coming in like 40 seconds later now. But okay. The question about textures. Somebody asked what resolution you're at right now. Oh, great. Sorry about that, gentlemen.
All textures are currently at 2K, so 2048 by 2048.
So yeah, that'll work for that. Oh man.
Also, someone asked if we'll have the ground power unit modeled. Yes, that is the plan. It's not in here, and it's not okay. It's not in the current build, but it will be in the future.
Yes,
That is our dedicated
external air.
development dog.
Yes, he's the company morale booster. Anyway, but going to the ground power unit, we'll also simulate external air and everything as it would be. You'll have your stat for the ground units. Currently, the actual function of ground power and external air are simulated. They're just not physically showing up, so that's not a big jump from where we're at right now.
Will the plane take 20 seconds to analyze the panel state? No.
No. And yes, the dog is included in the base pack. We will send you a copy of him. I'll get you. You know what? We'll just pick a random person. Whoever the winner of the giveaway is, I'll send you a signed picture of the dog that barked during the giveaway. Why not? Something like that.
It's funny.
I guess you could.
Go ahead.
I guess you could say it's the Mad Dog.
Oh, you know what? I'm done.
We're done.
That's it, folks.
No,
No,
I'm just kidding.
No, we're not. But in all seriousness, oh, I'm so okay.
I'm
But
sorry. I'll leave now, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Oh my God, the PTU simulation, the Airbus bark. Oh man.
goodness
Oh, I love it. Okay. That's fantastic. All right. I appreciate the forgiveness on that, guys. We did the best to keep him quiet as long as we could, but he's short of giving him a Valium. I don't think there's much more we could have done.
He's as excited about the plane as we are.
Altitude.
Okay, Colin, you should be passing by Lanai right now.
It's an affirmative. I'm gonna slow us down about 225 and get us down about 4,000, so we don't just whip around. Why is this thing hello? I guess this is here. Okay. Goodbye.
Turbine Sound Studios did these sounds.
Yes. The cockpit ambient sounds were recorded for us by some of the people that have been helping us, like the fans and the click sounds and everything. And shout out to actually Brandon from Jetstream Radio, who's worked with us. Not the random pilots in the call with us right now, but Brandon from Jetstream, who's done the audio processing for all the click sounds and stuff like that, and will be helping us out there. I got to give him a big shout out for that. He's done a fantastic job, and the click sounds I'll actually show everybody once we shut down, and I'll go through some of those. And I'm really happy with how they're sounding so far. Cockpit windows, we did go over that earlier on. We're not sure if they're going to open or not yet. It's a lot of animations, it's a lot of parts. If we get proper reference for it and it can be done without any other major complications, yes. If it's going to be a major headache for any reason, no.
Most of it comes down to reference. Nothing's impossible to animate, but if we don't have reference and know how it works, then it's kind of hard to do it properly. And we like to do things properly, so if we can't do it properly, then it won't happen.
Correct. As far as somebody asked about other ACAR systems, we have considered opening up both smart cars for integration with other planes and opening up our plane for integration with other ACARs. Those are both not out of the question, but they will definitely not be available right at release. Anything like that. We also do intend to release an SDK for this plane for anybody with custom hardware. You know, obviously, I don't think there's a lot of people with 717 home cockpits considering, but anybody that has custom flight controls or things that they'd like to make work with this plane, we will be releasing an SDK and information for that. Hopefully, things like FS2 Crew and other developers will be able to integrate via the same system. But that again will not be available until after release, and we're comfortable with the stability. Because of course, no matter how much we test, release is always going to give us new things to work on.
I would like to suggest you are now flying away from the airport. I would
okay.
use the contact center and go ahead and work your guys' approach, and probably he's going to send you to the camp 3.
Alrighty. If you want to, Brandon, you want to get us over on, looks like it's going to be, do you want us to go straight to tower at this point, or we go center?
You're outside of tower's airspace. You got to go.
Alrighty. Let's do 124.1. No, that's okay. Autopilot likes to turn the other way sometimes.
Alright, we're on 124.1.
I heard it. Thank you, sir. Yes, shared cockpit will.
Yes.
Yeah, Josh. Oh, good.
It will be available at release. Yes, correct. There's not much more.
Okay. I get very enthusiastic about this. So I tend to, as soon as I see a question, I'm like, yes, I know that one, and I answer it. Anything graphics, I send over to Brandon. So when I see something that's coding related, I'm like, yes, that's me, and that's. So I didn't mean to step on you there, Josh.
No problem. Hey, I'm just the community manager. I don't know much about the plane right now, but definitely.
He knows
later
more
on
than
down
he likes to let you know. He's being modest. We always have plans. We do have a lot of things we want to do with the company after the 717. We do have plans for other aircraft. I'm not going to specify any more than that. But and somebody just requested we tune in the Jetstream radio for background. That is fantastic. Oh, we appreciate that, and I will pass that over to the guys at Jetstream. That's very cool. We can't actually at the moment because Twitch does not really appreciate when we do music through something like that. But we will do our best to in the future to let you know about that, and maybe you can tune in a little quietly in the background. Sorry about that. But thank you. What even happened there?
Nothing necessary.
You know what? Message please, don't want to know. Okay. So, let me go ahead and get in touch with center here. And, you know, my VFR is terrible, so... oh, thank you, doggy. My VFR knowledge is really actually quite bad, so how would I want to go about doing this at this point? Because I'm used to establishing radar contact when IFR flight, and that's not really what I'm doing, so...
Alright, so center, now I'm probably going to get judged for that. I'm probably going to say this wrong, but this is how I usually do it. Just say Honolulu Center, TFDi 1. Wait for him to contact you back. Say, when he says your name, just say Honolulu Center, you just say TFDi 1 requesting Kahului International Airport, full stop landing.
Alright. And center TFDi 1.
TFDi 1, go ahead, Honolulu Center.
We would like to request full stop at Papa Hotel Oscar Golf, and I cannot remember the name of the airport for the life of me. TFDi 1.
I believe you're talking about Maui, sir, and your wish is my command. Make straight in runway 2, out of below 2,500.
If he asks, just say
Maui Alpha
3 or 5.
4.
I'm terrible at this. 5 nautical.
Roger, runway 02, TFDi 1. Thank you, sir.
Okay, he's not going to ask. You're good.
Alrighty, if we're going runway 2, I need to straighten this out a little bit here. Alright, now let's get ready here. I'm going to go ahead and bring us down. If we're not very far out, it doesn't look like. No, not at all. We're about 20 miles.
Request flight following.
Altitude.
Or he might guide you in. I don't know. And just FYI, I call him Kahului.
Kahului. Okay. Thank you.
Remember that.
Kahului. In like 30
Kahului.
seconds, I'm gonna have you quiz me on it again.
Okay. What's the name of the island you're landing on?
Kahului. No, it. Oh.
Ah.
Oh man, it's a trick question. Come on. Somebody asked about the purple circle in the corner. What? Corner of what? What are we looking at? Donkey says altitude. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get us ready. I've got to get us way over there if we're gonna get in the right heading here. Alrighty, so the speed brake, yeah, you know, we can go ahead and arm that, or just like the real one, it pulls up. Speed brake, I'll actually deploy it a little bit here carefully. It does squeeze to unlock when it moves out of its range, and then moves around after that. And I'm gonna go ahead and get it back up here. Go ahead and arm it. And oh man, hey, we forgot one event that turns off the left hydraulic switch.
Oh.
Speed brake tracking.
Shall we explain that?
Yeah, you know, can somebody make a note of that for me and remind me when we get on the ground? There's a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk about dev-wise, and I'm going to include that in the list.
I'll write that down in my notebook.
Perfect.
So, what was that about left hydraulic switches and getting turned off?
Yeah, random events turning off the hydraulic switches. There's some things I want to talk about. The bank angle indication on the PFD, if you want to follow up with us about that, it may actually be going the wrong way. I'm not going to put it out of the question at all. It's that was one of the first things we did in the PFD, and it's been a while. So I am not going to rule anything out of the question there. Like I said, nothing is final yet, so.
That last question from Leonard, I don't know how to say your name, sorry man. But this is operating on Windows 10 currently.
It is going to be Vista Plus, for the record, like everything else we've done.
Also, someone asked if there's any Easter eggs. Well, if we told you about any,
Wouldn't be
then
Easter eggs.
Wouldn't really be Easter eggs, so that's all I'll say.
I have to say, Brandon spent the last couple of days, actually about the last week and a half, redoing both the center console and the glare shield, that whole area, and he has done an absolutely fantastic job on these. I couldn't be happier. They look great, and this view now, this has been something. This has been a scene we have wanted to show to the world with this plane for quite a while, and we didn't show it flying yet, so we couldn't. But here it is, flying under its own authority with AFS. Navigating with stuff on the displays over to an airport we're going to. Everything's there. Well, not everything, but you know, a lot of it is there. The displays are there. This is something. This is exciting for us.
Just for you guys' info, 118.7 is going to be the tower.
Alright, can you go ahead and get 118.7 queued up in the standby?
Did you say 118 or 108?
118.7. And special shout out to Honolulu Center for providing the ATC for us today. We appreciate it greatly and working with us for that.
Absolutely.
Alright, the frequency's in the standby.
Roger, Dodger. Okay, somebody asked about CPU hardware, or CPU hardware makes no sense. I'm running an i7 37 something that's a little older and a GTX 670. My performance is not necessarily indicative of what you will get because I am streaming this while on Skype and watching the stream at the same time. So that's somebody's asking for Bitch and Betty, so.
Give him something.
Autopilot. Autopilot. Fire. Left engine. APU fire. Fire. Right engine.
Oh, right. The aileron trim is still off center. Can you go, you want to go and center that, or do you want me to do it?
Let's see.
That would be, yeah, I just realized the autopilot is fighting the bank here, and we gotta get ready to turn, so now would be a good time to center it.
Trying to see what I'm doing here. Is there a button to center it?
Hold it, these guys are, there, okay, you're right now. That's close enough, leave it there.
No.
Let me go ahead and get, I want to go and put the slats down.
Yeah.
Oh, let me go ahead and re-engage auto throttle here. Since we're starting to get, let me see if I have a visual.
Will there be a paint kit? Of course.
I may have approached way too high here, so.
Well, oh, Colin.
Yes.
Securing yoke checklist.
Is there a yoke checklist?
Securing yoke checklist. Are you securing?
We're gonna find out, aren't we?
I think it'll be interesting.
I don't think we're gonna make this pass. I think no, we can do it, but we gotta.
Oh, you got about 10 miles.
All right, let's go ahead and let's get flaps 13.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were.
Yeah, let's get flaps 13 in.
Altitude.
Oh crap! That's the wrong way. Don't know how to use my own plane apparently. You know, I've used it so many times that I can't even count.
Flaps and outside view.
And TFDi 1 contact Maui Tower now 18.7. Have a safe landing, guys. Nice plane, by the way.
Roger, 18.7. Thank you for the control. We appreciate it. We love the support. Over to tower, TFDi 1. For anyone who switched over to tower.
Sure thing.
Autopilot.
And it's not my airplane. We're actually, thanks to AFS, we're trimmed rather nicely here. Tower, TFDi 1.
TFDi 1, Maui Tower, go ahead.
We are approaching 02 for landing full stop, TFDi 1. I have no idea what the terminology for this is. You think I'd know by now.
You're not.
TFDi 1.
It's weird. You guys are all for IFR, and I'm the one that usually does VFR.
Roger, cleared to land, runway 02, TFDi 1. Thank you.
Ah, crap, I forgot you're on ATC. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Landing gear.
well there's a little more bitchin' Betty for you.
Landing gear.
Drop my
Landing
flaps
gear.
real quick here. And as is the case in the real 717, and as is the case with my normal flying, I am approaching terribly, as I always seem to do. I'm very low here.
1,000.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna slow our descent right here. As is the case with the real 717, once we get slow and low, and we start reducing the engine power, it is very quiet. Oh man, could I have done a worse job at this? God, at least I acknowledged it. You know, I'm not claiming to be better than this as I am, because this is horrific. Okay.
Just a reminder to everyone. We may not be the best pilots in the world. We can make the plane, but we can't fly it yet.
Yeah, I'll leave flying it impressively to those with real-world flying experience. For now, I'm going to focus on making it so you can fly it, right? This is ridiculous. What it is I always come in too high, so now I overcompensated. Now I'm coming in, scraping people's homes.
I've driven underneath that roadway that you're about to fly over, and you would probably be making me a very happy child right now. Look at that plane.
$500.
There we go. Minimums is going to be RA 200, so Brendan, if you want to call out minimums when we get there, just confirm we're landing.
I'm actually in exterior view right now recording.
Oh, fantastic. Getting ready for YouTube.
400.
You'd think they'd think of a better place to put that factory.
Yeah, that is not a good place for a factory on the approach path of an airport, man. I tell you. And here is the esteemed landing.
Approaching minimums.
Some 400 and some odd people watching me land right now, and I'm still oh, what is this? Oh
Minimum,
man, what is
minimum.
backing into the runway?
Uh-oh.
Oh, look at that. Alright, I'm gonna go and execute go-around procedures here.
100.
I'll go ahead and authorize. You don't have to be on VATSIM for this.
That's funny. You know, we actually, Ren's going to get the gear up. Yep. Gear balance, go ahead and flaps.
Landing
I'm going to
gear.
go ahead and pull the go-around gate up to flaps 18 here.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
And, tower, TFDi 1, we had a runway
Landing
incursion,
gear.
please advise.
Landing gear.
TFDi 1, go around, heading on gain at 7,000 on the unit on 1.8. Sorry about that. Maps on.
Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, I want you
Roger,
guys
opening
to
account
think...
12.8, maintain 7,000, TFDi 1. Sorry about that, Josh.
No worries, my apologies. I cannot hear ATC right now, so that was my fault. But, thank that person that just incurred onto the runway, because you guys now have more flying time with the 717.
We're doing the vomiting thrust again, I see. Oh man. See, anybody who wanted to see the MCT thrust happen again, there it was. We will be fixing that, of course.
You're probably going to want to turn right, not go left. Left is a mountain, right is a mountain farther away.
Alright. Yeah, I was going to say, you know, the guy, I'm actually going to give him a slight thank you, because he is going to let me get a much better landing in the end here. So, all in all, I guess I can't complain.
Whoever said there's no second chances in life.
You know, this is the big landing with 400 people, and I'm landing terribly, and all of a sudden we get a runway incursion, and now we're good to go. No, I swear, of course, that really was not scripted. That not at all. We actually, the funny part is we even talked about not wanting to do it on VATSIM just because somebody would do that, and sure enough, no, they actually did.
I don't believe that was November 550 Julia Tango. No, you guys don't need to go after him.
No, honestly, I'm really not concerned about it. We all have good spirits here, and you know what? It gives us a little more flight time, gives us something to show, and get to see the aircraft under something other than perfect conditions. Like we said, you get to see how it actually handles
altitude.
But yeah, we'll be disconnecting at this point. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect. I'm now off of VATSIM. Brandon, you should go ahead and do the same.
All right.
Because once is funny, twice is annoying. So I don't intend to let that happen again. But I do have to I have to laugh, because it was me actually that calmed the team about not worrying about runway incursions or anything silly like that happening, and sure enough, what happened? Exactly what I said wouldn't happen.
No witch hunting, please, guys.
No, no, really, we're not upset. I don't want to see anything happen about that. I don't want to see him in trouble at all. We're all in good spirits, guys. Are the spoilers still armed? Yes. I'll disarm them for now. And once we get on the ground, guys, we'll be doing some development things I want to explain. We'll be showing some more stuff about the plane that we can only show on the ground, some of the APU stuff, and we'll be announcing the giveaway, the pricing, and the future of the 717. That's the big finale to our nice flight here. I guess nice is subjective. I flew terribly there, but hey, you know what? I get to do it better now, so it is what it is.
Just a reminder, if you're now tuning in or you missed it earlier, exclamation point first flight enters you into the giveaway.
Reduce the bank angle limit a little bit.
Shout out to Orion. He's a close friend of the development team, and he's offered some code suggestions and general improvements to the plane over the time. So thank you for that, Orion.
Very cool. He did manage to make it. Awesome.
Altitude.
I'm not going to make the same mistake this time. I'm going to
Altitude.
go to about 3,000. We're going to hold there. No, no MCT descent. Or idle clamp descent. No, no. I'd like to live. I'd like to be able to tell about this plane and not crash into the ocean in front of Kahalui. Ah, I remembered it. Yeah, don't enter it twice, guys. It will not help you. Yeah, on the giveaway. No, our beta will not be public. Like I said, we'll go over all that in a little bit here. Yoke motion. I can show you yoke motion on the ground, obviously, once we're not flying. The yokes, actually, we have reference for their full range of deflection, forward, back, left, and right, and that's actually something we were very happy with, that we were able to get exactly as it should be. We were a little worried at first that would not be something we'd have enough reference for, but sure enough, it ended up working out.
Altitude.
I also want to thank all the guys who are coming out super late at night or super early in the morning for coming out to the stream. I know it's late or early for you guys, and we appreciate your dedication to just coming out here to check it out. If it wasn't for you guys, We wouldn't have the developers out there that we do.
Someone asked if they enter
Autopilot.
the
Autopilot.
giveaway twice. Are they out?
No,
we
it's
don't have
just
it set up.
No, it's just you can enter twice. It's not going to give you any more entries. It's just
Okay.
once you're in, you're in. Are you going for that short runway, Colin?
I'm not gonna take the short runway. No, I don't think we'll survive that. Actually, I don't want to find out. The yoke,
Later.
we could do a hideable yoke. I suppose that would be probably helpful considering it covers the bottom of the PFD. And Brandon, can I go ahead and get about 2.0 trim ANU?
Let's see.
'Cause I gotta apply about 50% down pressure to the yoke right now to keep it where it is. Let's hold it.
Stabilizer motion.
They're all pressed to hold.
Emmerich, currently the
Stabilizer
external
motion.
lighting is not in this build, but in a later build.
Okay, we're good.
Stabilizer motion.
Thank you. Also, if you're listening, the obnoxious stabilizer motion warning is actually correct. It really is that over the top. Can we go ahead and get flaps 13? Let's get no, wait on that. Here's how old my yoke is. It's squeaking as I'm pulling it to turn here. This is gonna be one fun approach. I'm still gonna corkscrew into the runway no matter what I do. I just can't win. Hey, I'm at least at the right altitude. Okay. Somebody want to let's get gear down. Gonna do a southwest style approach here and just drop in out of nowhere at the last possible second. Let's go ahead and get flaps full.
TFDi 1,
Good, spoilers armed.
Maui Tower, cleared to land runway 20.
Well, thank you, Maui Tower. Cleared land runway. I missed it because I have the memory of a goldfish. TFDi 1.
You're cleared to land runway 20.
Roger, cleared land runway 20. TFDi 1. If I could see it, that'd be helpful. Oh man,
1,000.
this is even worse than before. No, this is impressively bad. If I don't think I can make it, I am going to go around again. I really don't want to do that, but...
Also, shout out to Matt Zollinger. He's been another very close friend of the development team and helps a lot with testing and offered us a lot of feedback.
It's like this reminds me of the Kai Tak, the way I just did that turn there. Good lord, man.
Except there's nothing in the way.
Yeah, there's nothing in the way. I'm in the way, is what's in the way.
I do not believe we have a checkerboard anywhere out there.
Here we go. Hey, you know what? All in all, wasn't terrible. I'm going to overshoot the turn a little bit like I always do. I'll correct, and now this looks a lot better. There. We might actually land this one this time.
Let us know what taxiway you're going to be pulling off on.
Roger.
500. 400.
I just apparently like coming in low for whatever reason.
Approaching minimums. Approaching minimums.
We got double minimums callouts apparently. We are landing this time. Minimums cleared.
Minimums. Minimums. $100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
And I bounced. Awesome. Hey, welcome to Maui! And that is it. Now our first flight has landed, gentlemen.
Awesome. What taxiway you're taking?
Spoilers.
It looks like I'm going to be exiting right Echo.
Alright.
Or in disregard, there's apparently not a taxiway there. Not according to the scenery, anyway. Awesome.
Oh, okay.
We're going to go right here, which isn't labeled. Awesome.
Alright, TFDi1, TFDi1
Alpha,
take
looks like.
take Alpha to taxiway Alpha, turn right onto the gate.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and get flaps up and make sure if it's not cleaned up already. Let me get this turn. Oh man, I picked the worst turns to make. Seriously, I don't know what it is about me and wanting to turn 270 degrees, whether it's for approach or for taxi or whatever. It seems to be what I do.
Wouldn't it be an interesting approach without it?
Hey, it was at least worth watching. Just go and get APU started.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to stick around for the giveaway. We'll be doing the giveaway shortly. You have to be present to win, so make sure you're here. We're gonna do it after the Q&A. So yeah.
And just once again, remind everybody, I'm a terrible pilot. What you saw flying today has nothing to do with the plane systems, really. That's my inability to fly a straight line and to fly a proper coordinated approach. So I will take full blame for that. APU's around 74%, so let's, is the APU gen on?
Let's see. Oops, yes.
Perfect. I'll roll up a little past the line. I'm going to pretend like that was intentional.
So during the Q&A, I'm going to repeat a couple of questions just for other people who might have missed it, or if we want to make another video later.
By the way, we do have full recordings of the takeoff and landing.
Oh, sweet, we
outside. So we'll be sure to have that available at some point soon after the stream.
And now to, I forget to use the name, I apologize. Here's the yoke full right. I'll hold that for a second. Yoke full left. Hold that for a second. Yoke full forward. Hold that for a second. Yoke full back. Hold that for a second.
And those movements are indeed accurate. We have photos and various reference to show us where they actually are on the real plane.
Flight everts, double-clicking the throttle ATS. That is actually how I recall the flashing red, yes. As well, the yellow AP disconnect on the yoke is what clears the flashing ATS warning and shuts up the alarm. Bitch and Betty was indeed recorded by the real plane. The system sounds you heard us using today, we actually had a oral alert test done in the real plane. One of our guys sat there with a mic and recorded every sound. So those are all there. Now,
Once prepared will be supported
yes.
At the initial release.
And now, without further ado, I would like to take some time and talk about what we have been promising we're going to talk about. And that is the future of the plane, as well as release, and we're not announcing a date, don't get excited. But things we'd like to do from here forward, and what we're really looking at as far as the future goes. Let me see if I've got APU air so I can turn off these displays here. Turn off the sounds, rather. I think so. We do. Perfect. So, we have been very quiet for a very long time about this. We have never announced our price. We've never announced our release dates or anything like that. The build we sent out to our team last night, this is a pre-beta build. The next build we send out will be beta. That doesn't mean it's going to be tomorrow, doesn't mean it's going to be next week, but it means that we're in the home stretch as far as that's considered. As you can no doubt tell by the fact that we're now flying the plane publicly, we're explaining how the systems work, we're showing things off, you've seen it flying, you've seen autopilot. You can imagine it's moved a lot further along than it was, say 6-7 months ago when we first started showing off some of the displays and things. We do still obviously intend to make this the year of the 717. Based on the current time of the year, I'm sure you can guess it is going to be toward the end of the year. It is not going to be December 31st. We can do a little better than that, but of course, barring unforeseen circumstances, I'm not going to set any official dates. But as far as release pricing goes, For the last couple of years, we've been pretty set on the same price. And now that we're entering the home stretch and things are the same, it is going to be $59.99 US. But the amendment to that is you will only have to buy it once. All sims are supported. So Prepared 2, Prepared 3, FSX, FSX SE, all for that same one price. You have it for all of them. So that's how that works.
You will not need to repurchase the plane to use it on different simulators. Correct?
Correct. You will buy it one time, and then you just buy the TFDi 717. There is no 717 for FSX, 717 for Prepared, 717 for FSX SE, none of that. The price, and just to confirm, the price will be $59.99 US dollars.
And you'll likely, we're not 100% on this yet, but likely what will happen is, as many different simulators as you have installed on your PC, whether it's FSX, Prepared, V2, V3, you'll be able to install it to all of those with a single license and have it on there at the same time.
It's machine specific, not sim specific. Just to confirm one time, somebody asked about it being a study level sim. Indeed. The way we answer that, to be quick about it, is we recommend you read an FCOM to fly it, and that's our motto so far. We've coded it by what pilots tell us, by the FCOM, and by all of that good stuff. And a lot of these systems, like I said, having a deep understanding of the plane will be not only useful but required for some of the more advanced parts in this plane. So, study level sim, $59.99, once for all sims.
How about for future sims, like new versions of Prepared? Will we be providing support for that?
We've always had a policy of providing upgrades to products for free. That said, if the new simulator comes out and it requires us to recode a significant portion of the plane or to remodel anything serious, if it's a significant amount of work, there may be some upgrade fee, though I do not foresee us charging the entire price of the plane or more for the new sim. And if that's similarly, the opposite is true. If it's a very simple conversion, or it's a matter of us recompiling, then there will probably not be a fee to use it in the new sim. And yes, connected flight deck at this moment is cross-platform. Now, I do have something to mention about that. I want to talk about the syncing in shared cockpit. As I'm sure you are all aware, there have been many shared cockpit flight systems over the last 10 years or so, and inevitably, they have all had one problem or the other. They either sound jump and they mess with the FSX engine, or they're desynced, or they require FSX multiplayer, or something to that effect. And we know why now, after all this time. To be dead serious, the FSX engine doesn't like being written to the way we're going to do it, and the way a lot of shared cockpit has to do it. It doesn't like moving the plane around, doesn't like being told this is where you are. It likes telling you where you are. So when we try to write the position from something else, it causes the FSX sounds to be jumpy. And of course, that's not something it's not something we considered acceptable. So, for the time being, we do use our own external syncing that is cross-platform, but the syncing is less than optimal, and we're aware of that. We're not going to leave it the way that it is. We will find a solution. If that solution turns out to be that we have to make it use the FSX multiplayer or Prepared multiplayer to sync the position, and then our own systems get laid on top of that, so be it. We will do whatever provides the best experience to the user, even if it may not be exactly what we wanted at first. Connected flight deck, I can actually demonstrate. For the sake of Brandon's anonymity, I am not going to show his IP address on the stream here. But I would actually have to... my stream's set only to stream FSX right now, so I can't actually show this. And somebody asked, how many licenses per PC? That's... Like I said, if you have your one computer and you've got 4 sims, you can install it to all 4. That's not an issue, but if you're trying to move it across sims, that's going to have to be handled or across computers rather. That would have to be handled on a per instance basis. As you can probably gather, we're not very overbearing with stuff like that. If you email us and say, hey, I've got my other sim computer downstairs that I fly on at night, can I activate it there? We'll approve that for you. It's not a problem. We will have all these on all of the stream, all the information, everything will be available on YouTube shortly after the stream. To answer security about shared cockpit, it does use port forwarding. It does not NAT hole punch. If you don't want it connecting, it won't be connecting. So there's nothing to worry about there. So that's the big stuff there. And I mean,
Would you-
it's. Go ahead, Josh.
I have a couple of questions when you're ready.
Go for it.
Okay, so a couple of questions that we got on our Facebook post. Some of these have already been answered, but I want to once again reiterate some of them. It's important that we want to make sure everyone gets these. Number one, this was a common one we saw earlier in the stream. Will there be wing flex?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Not
Does it have-
currently, but there will be by release.
Okay. Does it have a weather radar?
Yes. Currently, it actually works already. It's just disabled in this version. It will support the Rex, Milviz, weather radar 100% for sure. It does already. It may or may not support active sky yet, and I don't. That, to be perfectly honest, we work with Milviz and Rex both, and that due to just they've helped us, and we wouldn't want to support their competitors solely on the grounds of they've helped us. We don't want to hurt them. That may limit our decisions there. We may provide both in the case of the user having a choice. We're not 100% sure yet, so that'll be left later on down the line. We'll discuss with the consumers, the users, and of course Rex, Milviz, and possibly ASN about that.
Okay. As far as the FMC goes, how in depth will the FMC go, and will you be able to navigate using the FMC?
Like the rest of the plane, FMC, LNAV, RNAV, VNAV, fly by the FCOM. You will be able to navigate complete with the FMC. We didn't in this flight due to where we are in the plane, but it will be able to do that later, of course, and your full flight planning performance information will be calculated. You'll have your waypoints on the nav display. I was gonna say actually, I have some. I'm gonna comment back on the ASN comment in a second. We'll return to that. I'm seeing a lot of comments for that, so we will return to that. But speaking on the FMS, we will support Navigraph. Originally, we were intending to work with the Aerosoft nav database, and they were very helpful and friendly with us. And despite that, Navigraph was able to offer us information in the database in a format that we did not have through Aerosoft at that time. The possibility of supporting both is still there, but as of now, we're using the Navigraph navigation database for the FMS.
So load manager and other stuff, how will that be handled?
Load manager will be done. We'll have an external program that you can go and specify your fuel, passengers, all of that fun stuff. You will be able to set it both as pre-flight to prep for a flight later, or to do it live between flights. Much more than that, I can't confirm yet because we haven't actually gotten there. There may be a lot of features we add or things we do to make it more convenient. We've geared a lot of this stuff toward making it feel natural in the plane and then trying to not kill the immersion. So.
Nights. When will we see another flight where we show off night textures, or will we see another flight?
We will see another flight. Now that we've lifted the veil, we pretty much just blew the lid off of all of our secrets that we've been keeping for a long time. We only have, I think, one or two that are still internal things now, and the rest of it, I mean, we're on the home stretch. So we've got no problem showing off more things. We are a little bit away from the night lighting, and the reason that is because the way we do our night lighting, it will be variable and dynamic. So you can have your floodlights separate from your dome light, and they'll all blend together and work in the way that they should, and the way that the real one would. But in the nature of doing that, we will have to have the cockpit just about finished before we can do that. So that is something that will be definitely coming later, just because otherwise we'd spend a lot of time redoing those textures, which would be pointless.
Awesome. So the I remember you saying something about the tiller earlier, regarding how it's connected to the axis.
Yes. The tiller was something we had intended to always simulate as best we could, and when the time came to simulate that, we found out that the FSX decoupling, which, if you're not familiar with that term, decoupling is complete separation of... FSX does not properly separate the rudder from the tiller. So, even if we set the tiller axis, when you move your rudder, it centers the wheel again. So, the problem with that is, they're still kind of stuck. The only way to go outside of that would be to do 100% custom steering. Although possible, it did not feel very natural and definitely had the potential to interact negatively with the sim under different conditions. And the last thing we wanted is somebody to be landing in a crosswind and have the rotation freak out and the plane whip 10 degrees to the left or something like that. We don't want to see that happen. So for now, the tiller is using the FSX rudder like just about every other aircraft is. You will see the tiller move and everything, but it's simplified. That's one of the very, very, very few things in the plane that we had to simplify due to FSX's limitations.
Awesome.
Also, real quick, I just want to say I noticed someone asked about any graphical improvements in Prepared, and yeah, it is true. Prepared in itself is just the sim itself is a graphical upgrade. For this, as far as the 717 though, likely not going to be anything Prepared specific, at least at launch. However, it does look very good in Prepared. We'll probably be getting some new screenshots on the TFDi design website here in the next week or so, and those screenshots will be in Prepared, so you'll get to see what it looks like there.
Absolutely. I had a question. Somebody asked about it running outside of FSX and how that works. It's not running completely outside of FSX. What we did is we optimized what we're given. It's still a .dll file that runs, but as opposed to the traditional system of everything running on the same function that FSX uses all inline, we've kind of spiderwebbed out away from that instead. So it will utilize newer hardware better. The performance from all of our testers so far in the internal team has been remarkably better than the industry standard for an aircraft of this complexity. We've gotten rave reviews. I think everybody will be very impressed with its performance. And regarding ASN, just already in the 30 seconds after I made my comment about ASN, it seems like ASN is going to be a necessity. And everything about this plan has been about user convenience. So regardless of our own relations with other businesses, we may have no choice but to offer the best option to our users. We may support both anyway. So considering that seems like it's going to be a big deal, then we'll do what we can, no doubt.
As far as I'll answer for him. I'll sort of sidestep the question for him, so he doesn't need to keep on questioning it. We don't know where the Quality Wing 787 is at the moment, and we're not going to race against them to get it out before them. There's no getting it out before or after. We're not aiming to be out before another plane is out. We're aiming to have our plane be the best we can put into it, and having it being the best experience for all of you.
It's done when it's done. That's the way we've always said it. And we don't, this is why we never announced a date for anything. Even the stream, we were ready for the stream when we announced it. We knew we were ready, and still, the amount of stress that putting a date on us puts in, we were able to handle it because we announced it at a good time, and that was only a month out. So us trying to put a limit on any dates like that just is unnecessary stress, and we'll end up compromising quality. We don't want to do that.
Also, wait, real quick, I saw a question. Someone asked about FSFX packages. I actually wanted that's on our board, not to work with them, but rather I wanted to actually do effects for our plane to have by default. So that's the plan for that. Whether it'll happen or not entirely sure, but it's the goal.
I saw somebody ask too about FS2 Crew. I would love it if FS2 Crew would support this aircraft. We do intend to open an SDK, as I had mentioned earlier, post-release, that should allow third-party developers and users with custom hardware to integrate with the plane, and that would make our day if they wanted to do that. So that's definitely something we'll be reaching out to them about post-release.
And by the way, to add to my my comment about the effects, the idea with this plane is that you buy one package and you get everything. You should have to do as little as possible to have a good experience.
Of course, the weather radars being the exception to that.
Yeah.
Whether it's ASN or Rex, it's the same deal.
Yeah. But I just wanted to cover
that. Smart cars will be integrated into the MCDU.
Yes, and will not require, and I figured just to be sure, will not require any kind of additional purchase or anything like that from the users. That's all. You buy the plane, it's yours. We're not going to microcharge you. That's not how this works. It's not a selectable purchase. Once you buy our plane, you have our plane. So anything you've seen us doing here today, you'll be able to do, and then some more when you get the plane.
And just to reiterate, we are open to working with third-party developers to bring awesome new features to this aircraft. If FX wants to work on it, we're totally open to that.
But yeah, I think we're coming right around on 2 hours, and that's kind of where we'd everybody know. And I don't want to hold everybody here too late because it is getting late. And I just want to everybody who's here now. When we first started, we had just about 700 viewers, and we are all it's staggering for us. We all want to thank you, and I know I speak for the team here. We want to thank you all for coming today to watch the stream and share this with us and interact with us. And it made our days getting to show it off to you, and I hope we've been able to answer a lot of questions and hopefully give a lot of good news to everybody. And it's been unreal. So thank you to everybody who's here today and everybody who's going to watch it on YouTube and tune in and show their support. It means a lot.
Indeed. And the journey over the past nearly 4 years now to make this plane has just been incredible. We've met a lot of interesting people and learned a lot of things that we never would have learned if we hadn't made an airplane.
Absolutely.
And I actually wanted to say something. I've been going around Twitch streams for the past couple of weeks as TFDi Design, giving support to you guys, and I appreciate so much positive feedback and positive words everyone has given us. That's been amazing. I'm new to the team. I've only been here for about a
year now.
Almost a year now, and you guys have really made working here be awesome. As the community manager, I want to thank the community for being awesome and helping us out and just supporting us. Without you guys, Flight Sim would not be what it is.
And without further ado, I think I'm going to go ahead and get us shut down here, and then we will do the giveaway.
Okay.
Is there more? Are there more questions? If everybody's got questions, you want to stick around. I just want to do the giveaway now because we said about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And we're at the end of the flight. I want to be true to our word, and I don't want people. If they don't want to be here, they have to go to bed or something. I don't want to keep them hanging around all night. So, let's go and do the giveaway. But I won't shut the plane down. We will shut the plane down as our official final act of the stream. So I'll leave it running in the background for now. So Josh, I will let you take it away with the giveaway because you know how all that works.
Okay. First of all, I want to throw a shout out to Jetstream Radio for also supporting us and throwing words out there about the giveaway and stuff like that. Jetstream Radio has been amazing and been helping support the stream for the last couple of weeks. But I will, I'll go ahead. I'll give you guys 2 minutes to type !first flight one last time in the chat. This is your last opportunity. Remember, by typing that in, you agree to the SORAG of TFDi Design.
Brandon.
I'll post that in chat.
Go ahead and start the flight timer on your nav display for 2 minutes, please.
All right.
So we've got, as of this point, we have now got 2 minutes left. After the next 2 minutes, there will be no more entrance into the giveaway. It's anybody who's interested. In the meantime, we'll see if there's any other questions here. I know the clock on the nav display, I actually was going to reset it, and I realized we had 85 seconds on the clock, so that's awesome. That was I was very happy to see that that's still counting.
And just a reminder, everyone, this isn't an entry to get into the beta or anything like this. This giveaway will be available to you at time of release. We will contact you with more information later tonight.
Yeah, and we'll also, when release does happen in the future, we will definitely try and get you the copy in time for release, because I know how it is, and if you're waiting for, say, a game to come out, sitting there counting down the minutes, just waiting to hit that play button, and we want to make sure that whoever wins this will have the same experience.
Anybody that's watching me right now that sees this, I do want to comment on the fact that what we've pretty much got left to do consists of half of the air conditioning system, the second half of the FMS, which we've already got the navigation done. That's SID, stars, airways, all that cool stuff is there already, so that's the important part. The other half of the FMS, some tuning on the autopilot, and that's about all we've got left to go. Once those things are complete, the plane is looking in a good place. One of the things that is left to go, though, is the sensors, which if you're looking at my screen right now, or at I guess it is my screen essentially, we do have the annunciator test on at the moment. There are some lights that aren't on yet. That's, it will get solved. But the displays themselves, the sensors for things like EPR, N1, N2, these trim positions, stabilizer, elevator positions, or same thing, stabilizer, ailerons, they will, when you do the annunciator test, do the X's. We're simulating proper failures of those sensors if you turn off the power or you do the test or anything. So the lack of cross-throughs on the displays right now is because we're waiting to do that fully and properly, and we didn't want to rush through it. So But I do want to show everybody the master caution and master warning flashing and some of the things we've done on the displays so far and with the lights and all that.
All right. What's our status on the 2 minutes?
We just passed it. 2:45.
Yep.
We're good.
We're good. And the giveaway is now closing.
By the way, the in-op is just temporary. It's there because we haven't coded the standby display yet. So yeah, that'll be gone in the final release.
And that actually will be going very soon. We recently acquired the rest of the assets, needed to finish that. So, all right, we are now getting ready to roll for the winner. Josh, take it away.
All right, guys, we appreciate everyone for coming out to the stream. I'm not gonna make you guys sit here and have me talk a lot, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use Nightbot, and we're gonna roll it. A reminder: you must be here to win. So we will wait 1 minute, or we'll give 1 minute to the winner to type something in chat and inform us that he's here. And if he is, we will go ahead and give him the copy. All right, and everyone, 3, 2, 1, bam. Holy cow! Awesome. That's awesome. All right, so we'll go ahead and reopen the chat. And Dane, take it away. I'm looking forward to seeing your streams with this. This is going to be awesome.
That is really funny because I've seen him chatting a lot in the chat today, very active, and it's pretty funny that it happened to be him.
All right. He's here, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey!
Dane Flats is here.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Dane. Well, you are, I believe, the first person that now has a 717 outside the tent.
Technically.
You will get this.
A voucher for one.
A
voucher for one.
Yeah. Let me make that clear. Sorry about that. So, congratulations, Dane. We look forward to seeing you fly the plane.
So very cool. At this point, the information that we wanted to cover today, we've shown it flying, we've talked about the systems. We do want to talk about some more development stuff. Any of you who are interested in hearing about some of the things we've done with the actual making of the plane this far, and we'd like to talk about that. If you got to get to bed or got to get out of here, now is the time. We're pretty much done announcing new information at this point, so we'll probably, maybe another 5 or 10 minutes, we'll talk about some things that we wanted to share. But once again, thank you everybody for tuning in today. This has been fantastic.
Yeah, and just, I actually wanted to announce this right now. Tuesday, the 14th, I believe, June 14th, I'm terrible with things, at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the r/FlightSim subreddit, we will be doing a Ask Us Almost Anything, so you can go ahead if you I forgot to ask questions, something like that. We'll be there at 3 p.m. answering questions. And
we will be at Flight Sim Con Saturday and Sunday, both days.
And just
to mention that.
Just to clarify, the Ask Me Almost Anything will be at the same time that the stream started, 10 p.m. GMT, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
Oh, wait. We're daylight right now. Uh-oh. Daylight savings. It would be Pacific Daylight Time. Correct.
Yes.
Or, did I say Pacific Standard? Darn it.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, yeah, the puppy's excited. The puppy congratulates Dane Flats, too.
Oh, and remember, we gotta give Dane Flats a signed photo of your dog now.
Oh, yes! The dog whose name is Lucifer. But, alrighty. So at that point, it's looking like, even though we're finished, everybody's still hanging around for a bit, so pricing, just to go over it, want to be sure, somebody had asked a question about pricing. It's going to be $59.99, all sims, no repurchasing. It's going to be a 1-computer license at first. If you do have a second computer you want to install it on, just shoot us an email, let us know, hey, I got a computer downstairs or something, and we'll go ahead and authorize that for you. Will it have working flats? Yes, I would sure hope so. Considering that we used them today for the flight, and the dial-up flaps. Actually, you know what? Let's show that off. Let's show the dial-up flaps. Let me go ahead and hydraulics is still pressurized. So if you wanna, let's go ahead and set flaps to like 7, and let's do that.
All right, let me get that. Oh, apparently, come on.
Actually, I'll go ahead and get a cockpit view up too. Wait 1 second.
Oh.
What platform don't you support?
Alright, you want to go ahead and put the flaps down to the dial a flap detent?
Hang on, let me just get it to 7. And then
And actually, I'll show you. I'll zoom in on the wheel here. You see the wheel is indeed set to 7. Go ahead and deploy it one more time, and there we go. And you see it now stopped at 7. And then if we come back to the display, the flaps indication is giving me a hard time at the moment, apparently, so I don't know why that's showing like that. That might be where the question came from. But if I pull my yoke back, you can indeed see flap 7. So,
as far as recruiting beta testers from the general public, we've had a number of pilots and people contact us over the years. Those, if
his internet's not so great.
any of you
guys.
happen to be watching, we've told you. Oh, did I cut out?
You stopped for about 3 seconds in the middle there.
Okay, where did I cut out at?
This is in the middle. I was just letting them know.
Okay, if anyone who happens to be watching has contacted us in the past, then we've told you that we'd let you know. At some point when we are at beta, we'll reach out to you, but it won't be any sort of open beta. We're not taking really requests at this point. It's just gonna be a matter of looking back and seeing who we find that we want on the beta team, pretty much.
Technically not supposed to put the reversers on the ground, but see if I can.
I heard there's a hidden. My name's hidden somewhere on this plane. Is that true, Brandon?
Well, I planned on putting you on the wheel, but I didn't get around to that.
All right, I see where I stand on the totem pole. No, I'm just kidding.
There's the reversers. The exterior is obviously, we spent a lot of our time working on the interior so far, a very good amount of it. So, and that's not something. There's a lot to do in the exterior still that we will want to bring. We really want to make both interior and exterior enjoyable in their own regard. So we won't be particularly favoring one or the other. We've just focused here first, since the systems need to be able to work properly, and in some cases the things need to be remodeled or added before the systems can be properly implemented. Hence our priority. So,
they,
go ahead.
They did mention a power back, which is something that is a thing that happens on these T-tail aircraft.
That's true. That's true. I forget that unlike the 737, you can actually do that, because the way the engine handles this is different than the 737s. That's why I put the reversers up at 60 on landing, just out of force of habit from flying the 737. Wheel chocks, yes, wheel chocks will be included. Windows. We should have been adding things to the FAQ during the stream, honestly.
Yeah.
Windows will open if we get enough reference for them, and we decide that is not going to have any negative implications on performance or animations or anything like that.
Colin.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure the Twitch broadcast archive does record chat, I believe, right, Josh?
It does, yes.
So, we will be going back through that and finding a lot of the most notable questions, and I think what we should probably do is create a massive Q&A list, and that'll get published at some point over the next couple days.
Yes. Running doors via the FMS. Personally, I have never liked the doors in the FMS thing. A, that's we hate being copycats. B, I think there are ways that can be done without it being through the FMS. We've been considering doing a system similar to what our shared cockpit menu is, like this. This is going to be very familiar if you've used GSX or anything like that. This was our idea. We're not set in stone yet. Again, we're all about listening to feedback from the community. If it's decided that the FMS really is the preferred method, we have no problem compromising there.
Oh, the Nightbot seems to be talking about the giveaway, even though that's done.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'll go ahead and turn him off. He doesn't need to be continuing to blabber on about that.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. But as far as development goes, I'll tell you, making this thing so far has been nice. You know what? We'll probably do a whole nother stream toward the end that just talks about what the making of. That'll probably be during our beta stream, or probably our beta stream. we'll talk a lot more about that. Shared copy connection process. Sure, absolutely.
Let's do that.
Okay. So let me get this open.
Make sure to get rid of his IP.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not gonna actually show it. So the way it works is,
Okay.
you'll have the add-on manager from us, and you'll go in, and unlike other aircraft, if you want to change who you're connecting to, you can do that real time. Every time you click connect, it reloads the config file for that. Not all of your options, just shared cockpit. So, you know, if there's something changes or you want to reverse who's hosting or change ports or anything like that, you do not have to restart your flight. So in this case, I've got this information entered into the config already. So once we're all set to go, I would open this up, and I am port forwarded. You can either port forward or use Hamachi. Either side can host as either pilot flying or not pilot flying. So that's no longer, you know, that's not necessarily that anymore. So if one side has an easier time hosting, but doesn't want to fly at that moment, or the other side wants to fly but can't host, then you can select pilot and command no. I'm going to say pilot and command yes for now. Now, at this point, Brandon will go to the same menu, and he'll click connect. He'll have my IP address saved into his config file, and there we go. Now we're connected. Brandon, you want to go ahead and extinguish the master caution for me?
Yeah.
There we go.
The autopilot will not be like the one in the movie Airplane. It'll blow up. No, sorry, unfortunately, we found that after testing with the public, that it was found to be creepy, so we removed that. Sorry.
Also, this is my visor, so let's take that back.
Okay, thank you. Sure.
But I think if you have any other questions, feel free to send it to us via Facebook, any of our social media platforms. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, whatever you want to do. We probably have one.
Two things about the plane. We had one question about lights. We do want to do custom lights. The default lights, we agree, are terrible. Brandon, I think, can answer that one better.
Yeah, we'll be looking at doing sort of volumetric Lotus Sim L39 style lights, if you're familiar with that plane. And also like the lights to reflect on the ground as they should. I think we talked about internal lighting earlier. That'll be a whole custom system that we'll be showing off probably closer to release, which isn't now or soon, it's later on, but
yes. We are overly obnoxious about that, by the way, because we want to make sure there is zero confusion. We've had a lot of people ask us, and you know, with good reason, we appreciate the enthusiasm, but we do want to make sure that, you know, there is 0% chance that we're misunderstood there.
Regarding the switching role, would we be interested in looking at a shortcut for that?
I saw that in the chat, and I actually wanted to make a comment on that because, I thought it was an awesome idea. And there's a couple of things in shared cockpit that we originally weren't going to do that we've added because it'd be helpful. And I think that a feature like that would actually be pretty helpful, and especially great for training and really simulating the multi-crew. So assuming that once we get our syncing to a point that we're satisfied with it, that's definitely a possibility, being able to hand off during takeoff. Perhaps even automating the process, or specifying at this speed handoff for me, so I don't even have to remember a hotkey. However we decide to do it that works best, I see that as being something at least worth taking a look at, for sure. So thank you for that suggestion. There's I think it's Nurcrative or Nurcrative, I don't know how it's written exactly, but let's give him credit for that. Another question, FS Passengers compatibility. I actually, personally, I used to fly with FS Passengers almost every flight. I had 4 digits of hours in it, and I always thought it was the coolest thing. I saw it again recently, and I thought about making it compatible with it. And a lot of add-ons, their lights don't report properly to it. The seatbelt sign doesn't control it, so on. Ours does. You can control everything you need to control with FS Passengers with ours, obviously with the exception of like the meals and things that there is no cockpit control for. But seatbelt sign controls FS Passenger seatbelt sign. The lights will report properly to FS Passengers, so that way they see that they're on. It is compatible, yes. And in the case of like an engine fire that FS Passenger sets, our fire system the handle will light up. You'll hear the warning. You can respond to that accordingly. Some of their failures may fall outside of the range of what we're simulating, and if that's the case, they will not be implemented. You still handle it as an emergency, but you won't see the physical failure. But for the most part, yes, compatible with FS Passengers. And somebody asked about what dial-a-flap. Dial-a-flap on this plane is there's a wheel here on the throttle, and I'll zoom in on it, that if I scroll up and down, I can select different flaps ranging from 0 all the way up to 20. Actually, I was going to say 17. I was up to 20. And when you select these, we can then take the flaps handle and move it into the, quote, dial-a-flap angle. And by doing that, we can select any range of flaps in there. So as the FMS calculates that for our current weight, we say we'd want, about 8 degrees of flaps, we do that. Now I have the hydraulics off, so they're not going to move at the moment, but they're there. That's how that system works. So that's that. If there's any other major questions, I saw something about FMS pushback. There are already a lot of things in the market that can do pushback. Obviously, FSX default, as abysmal as it may be, does do the job for the most part. There's GSX, which does a fantastic job. And I know AES, I don't know how that prevalent that still is anywhere. AES, I believe, has pushback as well. I can't remember at this point.
That livery question.
Yeah, livery question. We were looking to have the community actually work with us for a lot of those. We're going to be closer to release. We'll be talking more about that with the public, and once we're pretty set on how the paint kit's going to be laid out at the end. We're considering very much opening it up a little bit in advance and letting painters have access to the exterior model and paint kit and possibly exterior model, and getting them to work with us. And of course, we give them credit for it and everything. And those will all be available freely from our website. The liveries, that is. They will not be downloaded with the base products. You can kind of pick and choose what you would like to do. Doors via the FMS we did cover earlier. That's undecided at this point. We will obviously have a way to control the doors with a menu of some sort. Where it will be and how we'll get to it we will decide at a later time. It's seeming more and more like the FMS option might be something we decide to go with, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Somebody asked me about one other thing. What was it now? Livery manager, yes, we'll have those. Stuff like that. At this point, if we do have any duplicate questions, just because we've been here for over 2 hours, any other additional questions, if we've covered it before, I'm not going to cover it again now, but they will get answered in our FAQ post that we're going to do within the next day or two. Probably on our blog, we'll go over some of the big questions, and we'll get those answered there. The doors, we'll cover anything like that. Pretty much all the major questions today will be on there, so if you're looking to find out more information, or if you missed something earlier, it's not a problem. So if I do not answer it now, you'll still be able to get your answer. Let me see. Josh, did you have anything else that looked like we were coming through in the chat here?
No, but I think there's 2 things we need to finish it off on. 1, we plan on releasing the plane before the end of 2016, and 2, the price will be $59.99 across all platforms. You will not need to repurchase it for multi-platform.
And somebody asked about the shared cockpit syncing nav data. The way we're going to work with this as of now, the plan is if due to the nature of the FMS and to be able to sync it properly across 2 systems, the data, what our systems do now is there isn't necessarily a slave and a master side. Both sides sync to the same position, and then when one side clicks a switch, it causes the other side to simulate the click. So both sides are calculating it independently, starting from the same place. It works well. And under our test, you can spam scroll knobs and toggle switches on and off 150 times, and they still work. But where that starts to get hairy is with the FMS. So in our current plans, you will have to be using the same FMS database source. And you will either have to have the same new AirAC version, or it will fall back to the version that the plane shipped with. And you will both be reset to that same version, so that way it's guaranteed that everything matches up. And sure, we can get another external view here.
I'd say once we're ready, let's go ahead and wrap this up. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more streams in the future. You'll be here if you stay paying attention to our social media channels. We will be I can't English today. We will be providing news and information about upcoming streams via our social media channels. So go ahead and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, all that. And that is the best way to keep in touch with us. Also, blog.tfdidesign.com, where we will be posting many different things, including a ton of questions and answers that happened today, as well as other things. So Thank you guys all for showing up.
Once again, thank you everybody, and I would like to show everybody one last thing today. Let's go this ready. Brandon, please go ahead and shut off the APU for me.
Alright.
Now, the APU has to do its power transfer back to the system, so it won't be instant. But once it does, I'd like to end with this. That was very fun to code. On that note, gentlemen, I think we should shut her down.
Yep.
Alrighty. And we are now from gate to gate, from cold to cold. This has been the 717 First Public Flight. Once again, thank everybody for tuning in, and that's all for now, folks.